It should be live. Oh. Oh, Nelly. Live.
Just looking.
Edit. Show more. Oh God, Here's the tags. Having to put the tags on everything kills me, Kevin.
Don't you have it copy and pasted?
Nope.
Why?
I could never trust it.
Oh my gosh. My stomach is so bad.
Sorry.
Bro, stop saying that. What?
Well, what do you want me to say? To get worse? Like what?
Sorry. What type of sorry are you saying though?
Like I'm sorry you feel like that?
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes more sense.
What are you trying to... I don't know what
But you was trying to get into something.
Okay, as for the link to the stream,
I'm just...
let me see if I can get a link real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh. I'm feel you.
Alright, I send it to Marty. Where is... Bop. Wait, why did it not... Why did it... Where's the thumbnail? Oh my God, where's the thumbnail? I'm gonna fight somebody. Is it not saved? Kevin, can you check if the thumbnail is saved?
On the stream?
It is there! I don't know, that's so weird to me. It's literally there. Whatever, we should be fine.
I'm refreshing the page. Yeah, it's there.
Alright.
Our location was
You see the video?
definitely less than ideal, but her
I
being
can.
the eager young woman that she is, she makes do with what she has. We start doing our thing, she's getting into it, she puts her hair up,
Me to
and
post.
goes for my pants zippers. And I'm
What?
adjusting my dual disc, preparing to get sent to the Shadow Realm.
I need to save the... I need to get a link to the group.
So if you watch my She Fell For Me story, you'll know that a couple months ago I decided to dabble, you know, dip my toes into the waters of Tinder. Waters that were once tranquil and clear but are now toxic, dangerous, and straight up tainted by hot girl summer. So this story starts off how every Tinder story starts. A wholesome longing for true love and affection? Yeah. Of course.
There we go.
You
What's
got
going
horny.
on?
So way back when I first started my YouTube
Alright,
channel,
ready?
I actually got kicked out of my mom's
We good?
place,
Everything good?
job, and moved in with a friend, his two siblings, and
Oh,
his
bet.
mom. This
Alright.
apartment would be the place where I really focus, cut everyone from my previous life out, and get serious about my channel. So much so that it went from 3,000 subscribers to 150,000.
Oh.
This story took place when I
Whoa.
started doing YouTube full time around the 100K mark, right before I moved out and got my own place. So I'm scrolling away on Tinder, I match with this one girl, and off rip, she does not look like the type of girl that I'll usually go for because she looked like a freak, bro. Like I was going through some of the pictures and she just looked like she could send someone to the Shadow Realm without having to use Yu-Gi-Oh cards, if you know what I'm saying. And honestly, that's not something that I'm really looking for. I'm more of a long-term dater, and she made it very clear that she wanted only one thing. And sure, I enjoy doing that one thing too, but I have to feel a connection. I can't just do it with anyone. I have to genuinely want to get to know you before I can
Feel that. I kind of feel that.
Do you still?
No.
Should
So
have
we
said I
planned to
felt
meet up
that
day at like
in the
8
past.
p.m.
Yeah, I should
We're
have said
texting
that.
and she's, for a lack of better words, not shy about her intentions. And I,
Oh,
for
one
a
of
lack
those,
better
huh?
words, not
I know a couple
mentally
of those.
prepared. Okay, I'm not used to this. Okay, I'm nervous. I had just gone from a year of 100% grinding and zero social life to texting a girl about the God $3,000 for Grindr Deluxe. Okay,
Yes,
I wasn't
sir.
ready. So 7 p.m. hits and I get a text from homegirl saying something happened at her crib and she wants to know if she can come over to my place instead.
Oh.
This was a problem because I shared a room with 2 other guys that slept in the closet. Someone sleeps in the living room, which is
What?
close to the kitchen. The crib is too crowded for us to even do anything, and everyone was home at the time. And also, it's becoming more and more obvious that this girl is definitely not gonna be wifey. So there's honestly no way we could link in this house. And even if I did, it definitely would not be right for me. So I cleaned up the garage, made it as presentable as possible, and told her that she could pull up to the crib in and out. She pulls up and we head to the garage. Just looking fine, bro. Like, too fine. She most definitely overdressed. We weren't planning to go anywhere. I was wearing a t-shirt and joggers. She really gave off Netflix and chill vibes and showed up like I was taking her to Nobu. Like, shorty, I can't even give you Netflix and chill. Like, I couldn't fit a TV down here. Our location was definitely less than ideal, but her being the eager young woman that she is, she
That's what we
makes do
finna
with what she has.
do,
We
bro.
start doing our thing.
What?
One of us gonna have to sleep in a closet, bro.
And goes for my
Not in a weird way, though.
I'm adjusting my dual disc, preparing to get sent to the Shadow Realm. She unzips my zipper and then lets out a scream, and I'm thinking,
Huh?
well, thank you.
What?
But she gets off me, stands at the table, and points at the fattest roach I have ever
Oh.
seen. And it was right next to us. I don't know how we didn't see it. We were really getting it on with a roach right there. We worried about the wrong cop,
Watch
but the
him, bro.
situation
Do we need
was
to have our
dire. I
units
gotta
off?
think
People do
fast.
that?
I have to kill him
Why?
before he
I guess
hides
people-
somewhere, or
Oh,
else
oh,
he's
the
gonna
viewers?
and
Do that,
I
yeah.
am not gonna
Oh,
get
yeah.
anything
That would be
tonight.
amazing,
So I
actually.
grab a pair of
Yeah.
shoes, throw one shoe at the roach to get it off the wall, and then use the other shoe to kill the roach. I take the roach, scrape it off the shoe, and
Ugh.
hand the girl her shoes back. After realizing the garage was not the move, but still being in the mood, we wander to try to find a place. And in a moment of desperation, I decide to go to my friend's mom's car.
What?
Oh,
She
he
has
was
2
really
cars, and one
thirsty.
of the cars she never uses, so I go to open
Understandable.
the door, but it's locked. But I know that the trunk is open, so I just need to open the trunk, climb through the trunk, and then open the front
My
door.
boy.
Doesn't get more down bad than this, honestly. So I open the trunk, and her car alarm starts going off. It's
Oh,
blaring,
no.
and it's like 4 a.m.
Bro, there's
and
no way.
I'm just done, bro. I'm visibly not feeling it anymore, and she tells me that she should probably leave as she speed walks to her car. I go upstairs to wake up my friend's mom because she's the only one with the key to turn off the car alarm. But I'm definitely not telling her what just happened. So I go up and tell her I think someone tried to break into her car, and I run downstairs to look for the robber. Man, I'm trying to sell it, bro. I'm like looking under the car, walking down the street, looking inside the car, looking behind houses, and she thanks me for being brave. After that, we just walk upstairs. She locks the car. I text the girl.
Wait, so he was living at his friend's house?
Not
Friend's
bad.
mom's house?
My flow is sick, it put a nigga in the ICU.
Is it
You
over?
want beef, my sickle chop you
Yeah.
like some Chinese.
What? She was down for anything.
Hmm.
Damn.
Bruh, my heart has never dropped so fast.
Kevin,
in
are
my
there any
life.
rules?
My heart dropped
I
like it's hot.
don't really care, actually.
Huh?
I don't really care.
I don't care either. We're just running a 60 every time. You're here for the
Yeah.
ride.
I gotta be a piece of crap today. I know. This happened a long
loud,
time
what up?
ago. I'm a completely different person now, so don't worry.
Make sure you get to the door.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. If you want to be in a relationship,
looks.
always make sure your intentions are clear from the start, or you'll end up like me,
True.
who did it and reap what he sowed. If you've been on this channel
True.
for more than a year, then it's probably a good chance that you've seen this video that I made back then with my old art style about one of my
Maybe don't
exes
attack
named
units with under a
Sade.
certain level.
We had a very immature, toxic
I'd say once we
relationship,
hit,
dated
like-
her for like a year and a
like
half,
50
blase, whole lot.
like 50.
This story takes
Yeah.
place 3.5
Once we hit
years ago at
50,
the
just
very
don't
beginning
attack
of our
stuff.
relationship when I was a completely
Alright, if
different
you're gonna
person
attack stuff,
than I
attack
am
the
now.
little
And
ones,
way
and then
we
you
got
can attack the
together
big.
was
No,
kinda
attack the big one,
chaotic.
but
I'll
attack
keep
the
it
little
short.
ones, and then
One
when we
night
get
were
to
both
you,
at
we
a
just
house
take it
party
off.
in a room alone. I was
Like,
living
yeah.
my best life
about
at
it.
the time,
Mhm.
so my only mission at that party
That
was
sounds
to
good.
slide my hot dog into some girl's buns. For some reason, she was sad. I felt bad for her, so I tried to cheer her up. That turned into a casual, flirty conversation. It got a
Hey,
little
what?
sir.
What's going on?
in that room. I got her juices.
I'm not too
Who is
sure.
this?
If you know what I
I'm
mean.
confused.
It didn't
This is
go
the
as far as you
Don the
think,
Sauce
but
God.
it was
No,
just
the
enough
person.
to get her attached.
What
In
person?
fact, so attached
Who-
to
who
the
is
point
she
that
to him?
she showed me more attention
paying attention.
than anyone
I
there
know,
for the
huh?
rest of the
I
night.
wasn't either.
Keep in mind, before her, I never really had a female show me that much attention
It's a
because
female that showed
back
him
in high
attention.
school, when it came down
Oh.
to bagging females, even though I played sports, I was the quiet, shy, unconfident kid that had little to no experience. Listen. That's why I was on my F-boy energy that night, because months before, I saw some of my friends have this same energy and it worked. So me being the
Does
go
work.
kid I was at the time, monkey see, monkey do. In fact, over time, I became a pro at putting my heart on ice. No rod.
True.
So when she
Mm,
showed
that's
me
what you
that
gotta
type
do out
of
here.
attention, I knew my hard work paid off. So after the party, we texted for like 3 days. All of our conversations were just flirting, no real chemistry at all. Because
Thank you,
I don't
R,
know
for the
about
sub.
her, but I only had one mission in mind. Beat the Doonies down. Why didn't I just do it at the house party if that was my mission, you may ask? Yeah, it was my mission, but honestly, I didn't come prepared to go full throttle at all, if you know what
What?
I mean. I only intended
Bruh.
for her to be like
He's
friends
an
with
amateur.
benefits or a side piece per se.
We don't use those around
Turned out
here.
She was a super freak that didn't give off any relationship vibes. She gave off more of a for the streets vibe. So I never
one
made
of
my
those.
intentions clear from the start because I assumed we were on the same page. But, whew, oh boy, was I wrong.
Thank you for the sub, bro.
I had her so wrapped
Thank
around my
you.
finger that I kid
whatever
you
your name is
not,
on YouTube,
after
hell.
3 days
I
of
don't know.
texting indirectly.
Thank you, though.
she
I
asked
appreciate all
me
subs. You know, we're
out.
trying to go
She
crazy.
was like,
We're trying to hit 1K.
so what
if
are
you,
we?
you know, a
And in
couple
my
people
head,
that aren't
I'm like,
subscribed, tell them to
what do
subscribe
you
because we're doing a
mean?
big giveaway.
What are we?
That's
We're
a
going
fact.
Be
crazy.
speaking French or
Stay
something.
tuned for it.
Yo, can you give
I
me
don't
Game
know
Pass?
what you're talking about. We
If you win the
are
giveaway,
human beings.
once we hit 1K.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more. That caught me all the way off guard because it's like,
Yeah.
why? Why?
I
ask
don't know
me
what's happening
this
now,
out
man.
of all things, like with the vibe
Me
you was
either,
giving
bro.
Off, it made me assume you wanted me to turn into a construction worker and tear
Oh,
down your walls.
okay, I get where it's
You know
going.
what I mean?
He wants
Which
more
I
than,
would have been
you know.
completely fine with. Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Like females aren't usually this bold, this fast. So I was kind of confused because this ain't normal unless she was one of those people that fall in love easily. I didn't know mimicking what my homies did could get me this far. So I went deep into thought about my decision
Yeah,
because
it
I
definitely
knew my
does.
intentions. I gave myself 2 choices. Either stop being childish and let her know my real intentions instead of leading her on, or shake up the dice, throw it, and let's see what happens. So I answered her in a real nonchalant way. I don't know, you tell me. I guess we're together then.
Bro,
I guess we are.
Oh my god.
Now
bro.
that I think about it, looking back on it, this was a pretty dumb way of getting into a relationship. Rushed and chaotic. Like, that was so stupid. What type of drugs was I on back then?
Bro, that's what I did.
We wouldn't all be here right now if I just grew up.
I don't remember what it was
I
word
had the
for
balls
word.
to get that far, but
Uh,
didn't have the balls to be direct.
Actually,
Beat me
but I was the
down.
one that
I went into
initiated.
this
I was like, what you
committed
trying to get into?
relationship with a
Well,
childish
yeah.
I
mindset.
never like I just
relationships
go
are
with it,
for
bro. If they say
finding
something
a
about
mate
it,
that
then
is
that's
Nah,
what
it's
happens.
because it wasn't like it was progressing, but it wasn't progressing enough, you know.
I just
Oh,
said yes
oh, okay.
because
Like, it was like-
she was a
It's like I still had to
convenient freak
work
and
for
she had a
like
lot of
the stuff to
assets,
get
which
at the
was
beginning,
my
you know.
only motive
Yeah,
for her,
I feel you.
especially
And I was just
after
like,
she,
I was like, yo, let's get this going.
I get
Slide on
that.
your knob like corn on the cob. Swallowed all of your milk, every last drop.
Wait, what?
So you used her. I wouldn't say I used her. I just
Mm.
used her resources.
Hey,
You
That's-
piece of shit.
mm.
I know. I never got the chance to build a bond, you know, fall in love with her, but I did fall in love with what she had to offer, which was the one thing that kept me around in the beginning. And again, I was very childish and immature, so if I didn't get that one thing, then my immaturity was taken to a whole new level, and that ruined everything for me. So one night, she and I were on the phone talking for a couple hours, bringing up different topics because the least I could do was vibe with her a little bit, especially after she Yeah, but I kept it as small talk. Didn't care about who her friends were, what she had going on,
Damn.
how her social
felt
life
that,
was.
bro.
I didn't have the slightest bit of cares. Even though I still gave responses, it was all a facade to maintain my
I'm doing that right now,
After some
actually.
time, you get on the topic of
Hey, yo,
sliding sausages
chill.
into
Whoa,
hot
whoa,
dogs,
whoa, whoa.
if you know what I mean.
Hope no one's listening to that.
If you haven't been understanding these hints, then you're either too young or you don't get out much. This topic got me actually interested because, again, that's all I wanted for her, and I still didn't get to do it yet. So I'm like, oh, since we're on that topic, when you gonna let me beat them doonies down, girl? With
Damn.
the expectation of an answer that I wanted to hear. But
That's gonna be
she
something
tells
bad.
me instead she's never letting me get in the guts.
What?
Ever. On the inside, I'm
Who?
confused because I done
Broad
already got
block
the
right there.
Gok 5000 Deluxe, so I'm questioning her like,
Oh, she said
what
something
do you
about
mean
marriage.
I won't.
You know,
Oh,
She
Travis.
repeats it
no.
again. And me being the idiot that didn't understand female nature at the time, I wasn't
Oh,
aware
okay.
that she was just testing me. That's what women
Oh.
do after a while. They test
Yeah,
you
you're
to
right.
see
They
if
do.
you really are who you say you are. So she repeated it again. My energy that should have stayed the same went from 50 to 0. And like I said before, I was very childish and
no.
immature.
I know.
So
I,
my
okay,
mindset was,
I understand
even
that
though
actually.
I'm
I
in
understand.
this committed
test?
relationship,
Yeah,
what
because
you won't do for me,
people. No, they've done.
another girl
That's
will.
happened to me before.
So I thugged it out with
But
her. for
I'm
10
not gonna
that's
cap.
happened to
In that
me.
situation, I tell them
Suspicious.
straight
I
up.
got
I'm like, "What are you
phone
talking
and
about?
started
You're
plotting
bugging."
Who would be my victim to cheat with us.
And it works.
Such
It works. It works.
Crap. This was the
Hey, it
most
went from
I mixed it
it
up.
went from after marriage to
Luckily,
you an
my
exception.
coworker that I
That's
went
all
to
I'm gonna
school
say.
with told me at work
That's
yesterday
all I'm gonna say.
that
Keep
this
it at
one
that.
girl I also went to school
Felt
with
that shit,
before, named Tatiana, was moving back to town soon. And bruh, y'all already know I was geeked when I heard she was moving back because I hadn't talked to Tatiana
Someone-
in about 2
or
years
something.
prior to this story.
Slayer
And if
corpse.
there's one
Ugh.
thing I knew about
Ew.
Tatiana is that when it came down to me and her, even though I was shy before, she was still down for anything. But we never had time. One problem though, I deleted her number and Snapchat the day she moved. Plus,
Damn.
I didn't know her Instagram,
Oh.
so I had no way of contacting her. The only thing I remembered about her contacts was the fact that she had her first name in her username on Snapchat, and her bit emoji looked like her. I didn't remember her last name either. So in reality, I was kind of out of luck. But I didn't let that stop me. So after I
Oh?
got off of work that day, I got on Snapchat, typed in the first name, 2 Tatianas pop up with 2 different last names, and they weren't on my mutuals list. So all I gotta do is make the most accurate guess and go with the one that looks like her. Bet. So I went with the one that looked like her past Bitmoji because she always had her Bitmoji look like her, as I made clear before. Added her as a friend and waited a couple hours. Never got added back.
Damn.
Until 7 p.m.
Oh.
came around. I didn't get
Oh.
added back by the one I picked, but instead there was another Tatiana that added me as a friend and wasn't a part of the first duo, which was kind of odd to me because it said this one was on my mutual friends list, which usually means they're close by, a list that I never checked before this. And her Bitmoji's appearance looked like the original, just like the other 2. So I was confident that it was her. I added her back, slid in her DMs, and instantly I got a reply. So we chop it up for like 20 minutes. I ask her, does she remember me, how she's been, you know, the basic things to set the mood, and eventually I end up asking her to link. She agreed, and I was hyped for a minute until she asked me
Oh, no.
instantly if I wanted to tear her walls down.
Huh? Wait,
That
what?
was a little bit too fast. So for a second, it got me happy.
I know what's going
because
down.
It became clear that we
I
were
don't.
on the same
You better
page,
get-
but in the back of my mind,
Shorty
I
must be
knew
friends with the other
something
shorty, bro.
was very off.
Oh,
about
yeah.
this. She was
You're
going
right.
all
It
gas.
could be a
no
lot of
brakes,
things.
Talking about what position she wanted to be.
Because remember, he
playing, what
said
did
they
she
were
want me
more
to
than
do to
friends,
her,
and then
everything
that's what she was under the
sun.
impression
and I'm
of.
sitting there like, yo,
She about to come up. Why you
where was
cheating?
all this 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of us talking, Sade calls me. And when I pick up the phone, something was different about her. Like, her energy was off. But I was still happy as a mug knowing I did what I just did, trying to ignore the fact that I was cheating. But something was still off about this. So she's like, Devontae, would you ever lie to me? When a woman asks you this question, 9 times out of 10, she already knows the answer. She's just trying to see if you're gonna lie to her face, which is something I didn't know at the time. So
I would say
of
yes.
course,
Everyone
I said
lies.
no. Then she asked me, Devontae, would you ever cheat on me? And me being the naive, immature, unaware, childish kid I was, I still wasn't aware of what was going on. So, of course, I said no. Never, in fact. Then she gets quiet and tells me to look at our messages. I look at our messages and I see a screenshot of my messages with Tatiana. Bruh, my heart has never dropped so fast in my life. My heart dropped it like it's hot. For the next 30 seconds, I ain't hear a word come out of her mouth. It was dead silent in that room. Like, I've never panicked so hard in my life. It had to be God. Had to be. The timing was way too on point. Everything from the time I got off the phone with Sade the night before lined up so perfectly. Because what were the odds that Sade would borrow her friend's account that just happened to be named Tatiana just to see if I would cheat? It blows my mind to this day. I think after my energy plummeted that night before, she got suspicious. I'm telling you, these females be turning into detectives when they see something suspicious. Trust me, after this night, I most definitely did everything in my power to keep that legendary throat. That's why we stayed together for the next year with breaks, because it was pretty toxic after. She didn't see me
With breaks.
But I ain't ashamed of it. I'm human just like you. I make mistakes and learn from them just like you. And I
just didn't want to help Kevin?
because without learning from my past
Oh, it doesn't matter.
mistakes, I wouldn't be
That's
who
over
I am
anyways.
today. Because you
Yeah.
see,
Can
we
you
even
gotta
kill
give a
anything
boy
in time?
a chance to grow some. It still blows my
Probably.
mind
I
to
just
this
don't feel
day
like
how
it.
everything
no point.
happened so
We're supposed to be having the
perfectly.
subs,
It wasn't
and like it's in a
karma,
few minutes
it was
anyways.
most definitely
Yeah.
I'm gonna
God
just stay in
teaching me a
here.
lesson. Like, I
Well, I'ma
really
go
got
roll
caught
my
cheating
guy.
on my girlfriend with
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
herself.
stick here
I
for
was
a little
literally
more.
talking to
Stop
Sade
XP boost.
the entire time. I had been caught in
Oh, well, I don't have
32K.
anything to use the
The
XP
minute
boost on.
I asked old
No.
That's tough.
Wait, what are you using the XP boost on?
I don't know. I'm just kind of just saving the boost that I got. I don't know.
Interesting.
Because we can already get to 60. There's not really much else I need to. That's so loud. That music's so loud.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like this dude. I like his things are interesting. Reminds me of life.
Yeah.
I'm like, does this
Yeah, what?
woman want me to die? I say to her, but miss, my hand. What about the Aki?
Can you reset the VP? Is it full?
What about the Aki and
VP?
saltfish with a little bit of breadfruit on the
What
side?
is VP?
I thought
VP.
we had something.
Should I
VP?
VIP server? I don't know. VP.
Oh, Oh.
It just says VP.
Well, no one's run it
Just
yet.
moved to
You don't have to
America
reset
from
it yet
Jamaica,
because
it
no
was
one ran
the
it.
first week of school. Y'all know how that is.
I've
goes,
seen
man.
Mello
I don't need to
before.
tell y'all. You spend
Thank
half
you,
the
the
day trying to
Furious
figure out where all
Destiny,
your new
for the
classes
sub.
are.
What'd you say?
Meet your new teachers, and
I've
then
seen Mello
you
before.
scout out the class.
What do you mean Mello?
First, you look to see if
Mello.
you see anyone you know because hashtag social anxiety.
He looks familiar.
Then, if you're like me, you pick
So,
up all
should I
the
not
cute
reset the
girls in
server?
class. You know,
No,
so
don't
that
re-
you can
no one
run a
did
list of
it.
all the people
Oh,
you're
yeah,
gonna
no
go
one
back to
did
and
it.
talk
You're right,
about.
you're right,
Yeah.
But never
Wait,
actually
how is
have
the server-
courage to go and
Never
ask
mind.
for their number. Dudes will go an entire year dressing fresh to death just to impress a chick he's never gonna talk to. So I get through the entire
True.
first day with just my last class of the day left for me to go to, English literature with Mrs. Dolanda. Now,
Ooh.
I wasn't looking forward to being in this class because at lunchtime, one of the
What
dudes
video
at
was
my
this
lunch
again?
table warned me that she was one of the meanest teachers
she
in the
betrayed me.
entire school, and
Yeah.
that she was generally hated by everyone who took her class. So there I am standing outside of class when she shows up to let everyone in. And to my surprise, Mrs. Dolanda was a tall, middle-aged black woman with dreadlocks. So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Because by this point, I've met all my other teachers who were either white or Hispanic. And they were really nice. Don't tell me that the only teacher that's gonna give me problems is the only one that could pass as my goddamn auntie. So the class starts and we're doing the whole stand up, introduce yourself, state one interesting fact about yourself thing. My turn comes around and I do the bit. Good afternoon, my name is Don Hines. I just moved here from Jamaica. And before I could even sit down, Mrs. Dolanda was like, did
Is
you
this Don?
say that you're from Jamaica?
I think
What a coincidence.
Okay, because he said
So am
Jamaica.
I. And then I was like, word? And she was like, which part of Jamaica are you from? I'm like, I'm from Kingston. How about you? She said something like, oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
I'm from St. Catherine. And then I tested her because she didn't have an accent at all.
Word,
So I
you
was
keep
like,
on
I
opening
had to
up
know
your
if she was a real
window.
yachty. I'm like, What's
Like,
your
I can see
favorite
your home
dish?
screen
And then
every
she
time you,
says, I
like,
love oxtail, but my favorite is ackee and
click off of
saltfish with a
Roblox,
little
I guess.
bit of
Oh, what's
roast
up with my home
breadcrumbs on
screen?
the side. At that
I can see it every
instant,
time
I
you
knew
click off
that
of Roblox.
everything was gonna be
Wait, really?
alright. Because
Is there
I
something on my home
realized
screen?
Mrs. Dolanda was a mean.
No, I'm just saying, when you click
She's
off of
just
Roblox,
Jamaican.
your
Let me
screen don't keep
explain.
on
America
Roblox. It
is
goes
an
to
amazing
function.
place. In spite of its flaws, I can confidently
I can
say that
fix
I
that. Hold
wouldn't
on, let me
rather
just-
be living anywhere else. One of America's best features, its universities. America is filled to the brim with amazing colleges and universities. People fly from all
display
around the
capture,
world just so
add
that they could
source.
have a chance to go to one of our great
New source.
institutions of higher learning. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal colleges.
Oh, wait, no, not display capture.
The public schooling system, however, has much to be desired.
Thank you for the sub,
By that I mean it doesn't
Libni?
take much to acquire a
Libni?
high school diploma.
something
You
like that.
feel me? You're not exactly being pushed
Window
to your
capture,
intellectual limits,
add source.
okay? Show up to class, don't sleep the entire time, do some
There we go.
of the homework, and don't get caught smoking in the bathroom. And guess what? You just
Yeah,
got
that should
yourself
work
a
now.
high school diploma. Now you can stop playing pretend.
Yo, talking to her
and
real
go
quick.
real
Actually, no, don't do that.
school, which
I'm gonna
is
just DM you, alright?
college. Now, of course, this doesn't
Okay.
apply to everyone. I hear you AP class taking mother suckers in the back. Listen, I'm just talking about the bare minimum you are actually required to do to graduate from high school in America, which is not a lot. Jamaica, on the other hand, completely different story. The public school system there is brutal, my G. Much lower success rate. Like it really takes serious effort to graduate from a decent high school in Jamaica. So you do end up with a lot more people failing.
Is he talking to me, Kevin?
The ones that
Nope.
make it have a really good expectation of just
Wow.
how hard college is
Mhm.
about to be. Perfect
That's
example.
what I said, bro.
Extra credit. I didn't know that was a real thing until I got to
kinda
America.
weird.
I thought extra credit was just some the Disney Channel made up. Cause that's the only place I ever heard the term
Got
being
nothing to do with
used.
me.
Jamaican teachers
It
don't
has everything to do with us.
believe in extra credit.
I mean,
Extra credit is
like,
some
what am I
kind
gonna
of
do about
urban
it?
myth, like
I just
Bigfoot
told you
or
what you could do about it.
post-racial American justice system. In
am I
America,
gonna
that
do?
person
on
with
the
all-
other hand, teachers
Hold
give
on, why is
extra
the
credit
person
like
with
it's
all the
candy on Halloween. They even put
Alright.
the extra credit
That's what
in
I'm
the
telling
How
you
do
about.
I
but
do it
at
here?
the beginning of the year. You can calculate exactly how much homework you can get away with not doing based on the amount of
Oh,
extra
he
credit
taking
you
the car, y'all,
already know
Kevin.
you're gonna get.
Yeah,
So
I
when
don't
you're
know.
used to this kind
That's not what
of
we're doing here. I don't know why.
gentler
Yeah.
Kinda
approach
weird.
to school.
Did you
Of
press the button,
course,
too?
when you come across a thoroughbred,
Yikes.
bona fide
Okay.
Jamaican
Not
teacher
looking
like
too good.
Mrs.
I told you what to do
Dolanda,
already.
Yeah, I
You
already
better
did
do
it.
it.
Played at.
Yeah, you did
Okay,
it.
good.
Of
We're
course
definitely
you're gonna
setting
think
this up
she's
after
a
this.
Contasaurus.
Yeah, I know.
She's not gonna take your late homework.
don't know, it's
She's
just
not
like-
gonna round up your grade.
Yep.
And
I don't
she
see the point in,
sure as
like,
hell
why,
not
Yeah, I
gonna
don't know, it's
give
just
you
wasting
no
a spot
extra
for no reason.
credit. But I was
And
fresh
someone
out
got
of
left behind
college,
'cause he pressed the
baby.
button, too.
That's what I was
Yeah.
used to.
Mhm.
So like I
You
predicted,
see
the
that?
semester
Yeah,
went as
crazy.
smooth
This
as
is to help
butter.
people.
was
I don't know why you're
clocking
here to
A the
just
entire
be here.
time, just
Yeah.
barely, like a 91%. but it
Normally I
was
don't got a
still an A.
problem with
And while I
this
could
type
tell
of
that my
thing, but it's
peers
like, why?
weren't really feeling her,
Yeah.
I personally was enjoying the class. And it
I knew
wasn't
you didn't
hard to
press the
see
key, G.
who
I knew
was
exactly who
Mrs.
pressed it.
Dolanda's
No,
favorite
yeah.
student. She calling me so much
Mr.
for answers
Speedrunner
low-key that she
tastic
started to
here,
look
bro.
bad. Well, I didn't mind. If
Mr.
it
Cool
making
Man.
an A,
Mr.
I was
Cool
gonna
Man.
kiss that. It's like no one's business. But then, one day, everything changed. Right before I had English with Mrs. Dolanda, I had PE/basketball class. On this fateful day, I unfortunately sprained my wrist while playing basketball. Had my wrist looking like there was a whole grapefruit in my.
I don't even remember
So I
what this
showed
video
up
was
to
about,
English
bro.
class, and upon
Me
arrival,
either.
Mrs.
Thought she
Dolanda
betrayed me.
tells everyone that there was going to be a pop quiz. Now, she did
Whatever
these
that
pop
means.
quizzes from time to
Yeah,
time,
I don't
and they
know.
actually really affected your grade. So, being unable to write due to my sprained wrist, I go to Mrs. Dolanda. And
How'd he
I'm
sprain his
like,
wrist? What happened?
Hey, Mrs.
don't
Dolanda.
remember.
As you can see, my wrist is hurt pretty bad, and I
you
can't
do something
write.
strange?
Is it cool if I
Probably.
take the quiz next class once the swelling goes down? She looks at me and says, actually, Donald, I'm afraid I can't do that. You're going to have to take the quiz the same time as everyone else. I was like, what? But miss, how am I supposed to take the test if I can't write? Can I dictate to you? She's like, that's not my job, Don. I'm like, what? You can't be serious. Am I supposed to take it with my left hand? She's like, Don, if you don't take the quiz right now, I will have to give you a 0 for it. A 0? A 0? Are you
Yeah, she bugging, bro.
kidding me? Giving a Jamaican kid a 0 is like sending him home with a death sentence. I'm like, does this woman want me to die? I say to her, but miss, my hand. What about the ackee, Mrs. Dolanda? What about the ackee and saltfish with a little bit of breadfruit on the side? I thought we had something. But nope, she sent me to my seat to take the test with my left hand.
That's
and of
crazy.
course, this is English literature, okay? This wasn't multiple choice. These are short essay questions. Give an answer and explain. You feel me? So there I am trying to write with my left hand, handwriting looking like chicken scratch. And of course, I barely get half the quiz done. So she collects the quizzes and I'm salty as fuck.
Oh, Macbeth,
Fast
I
forward
remember
to
that.
the next class, I get back the
Not
test.
fun.
48%, my G. I felt so betrayed. You see, if you want to ruin someone emotionally, you don't start off by being an asshole because they'll immediately put up a wall. You gotta earn their trust.
Oh my
first,
gosh, that's
create a
so
sense of
fat.
camaraderie, security.
Oh my
and
God,
then
bro, I
when
felt
they
that on a different
need
level.
you the most, that's when you stab him in the back. That's what Mrs. Dolanda
This
did.
video
to
just made me mad,
that
bro.
quiz brought me down to a B, and I wasn't able to get it back to an A for the rest of the semester. Ruined my perfect GPA, and this was back when I actually cared about school. For the rest of the year, I hated this teacher, and I made sure she knew it. Anytime she'd call my name, I'd never have the answer. Eventually, she picked up on the message. I don't even think we made eye contact for like the last 2 months of school. Moral of the story, never expect anyone to do anything for you, because this world owes you nothing. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner people will stop letting you down. What's up, fam? It's your boy Young Don, the Sauce God.
Okay.
Today,
That's why you got.
okay,
Oh my gosh.
was
Why you gotta do that?
Alright.
This girl
So I
was
gotta start listening.
trouble.
Oh,
Oh,
Girl
Kevin.
and I turn back
Uh-oh.
around, and then there's a brief pause, just a few seconds. But in that moment, I knew that she was not happy. She says, "So that's who's moving in with you." So I'm like, "Babe, come on, she's not moving in with me.
Uh-oh,
She's
moving
just gonna
in,
be
and
living
you got a
in the
girlfriend?
same
I don't know
house as
about
me. It's a big house." But baby girl was not having it, man.
How does he
Her
look different in
what
every
the
video?
meter was already at max.
she does, huh? I mean, but the first one was a different person, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Interesting.
Before we jump into the story, I want to tell you about the
Oh
mobile
my
game.
god.
Bro, it's a different mobile game every time. That's impressive.
Not too
This is
far in the
literally
past.
impressive.
Now, if you watch my last animation, you know for a period of time I was living with one of my homies named Quinn, where I was staying in his sister's room while she was
What?
away for
Oh,
college. This was
okay.
before YouTube,
Oh, okay.
back when I was still in school.
Imagine.
So one day I was chilling out in the koozie with my
Imagine the sister was
girlfriend.
there.
And in the
Room.
distance,
With
I
the
could hear a
sister.
lot of commotion going on in the house. A little time passes, and then my homie Quinn walks out to the koozie to holler at me. So I'm like, "Yo, what's going on inside?" And then Quinn was like, "Oh, didn't you know? Bianca's moving in today." So I'm
Oh, he's
like,
gone.
"Oh,
Person's
that's
gone.
right, Bianca."
Bet.
You see,
That's
a couple months
amazing.
back, Quinn's mom had told us that one of her friend's daughters was going to be
Why didn't
staying
you
with
reset
us
the
for
link?
a few
'Cause we
months.
hadn't finished
She was
it before.
joining the military and needed a
It
place
had already
to stay
started
while
when I
she was
started
waiting to
streaming,
go
so
to
no one
boot
was actually
camp.
in
Now,
it.
when she told us, I didn't even think about it, right? I didn't ask questions. I was just like, all right, like I didn't care. So fast forward back to that day, I had completely forgotten that she was even moving in. Anyway, Quinn goes back inside and I turn around to continue hanging out with my girlfriend. Some more time passes and then I hear Quinn's mom in the background say, "Hey Don, say hi to Bianca." So my girl and I turn around and there she was. Now, I don't know why, but this whole time I thought Bianca was gonna be like this 27-year-old unattractive woman,
Uh-oh.
right? That was just what I had in the back of my head, and I think that's also why I wasn't curious at all about who she was
That's his sister,
or what
right?
she looked like. Well,
I guess.
that was not the case. I turn around, and before me and my girlfriend stood this 20-year-old baddie. Okay, how dare she? She starts to walk over, and listen, I love my girl. Okay, to this day, never loved a girl more in my life. But at the end of the day, I'm just an So as she's walking over, I do the full sweep, okay? The full sweep from top to bottom, analyzing how attractive this girl is. And look, it wasn't on purpose, okay? This is software that is built into every straight man's brain. Like, it only turns off for family members and children. It takes like 0.6 seconds.
For some people.
It was completely out
of both of those for
this
some
girl had
people.
Long,
Most
beautiful
people, most
hair,
people.
blue eyes, smooth
No,
skin,
for some
a
people it's not.
gorgeous face, and she was thick, boy, thick as She comes over and introduces herself.
Alabama.
Everyone shakes hands, and then she goes back inside. My girl and I turn back around, and then there's a brief pause, just a few seconds. But in that moment, I knew that she was not happy. She says, "So that's who's moving in with you." So I'm like, "Babe, come on. She's not moving in with me. She's just gonna be living in the same house as me. It's a big house." But baby girl was not having it, man. Her what the meter was already at max, so she was not amused at all. But me being a good boyfriend, I was like, "Babe, it's
No,
not like
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
reset
be
after this.
roommates
Don't
or
worry about it.
anything. Look, I'm going to school full time. I work full time, and whenever I'm not doing either of those things, I'm with you, so don't worry about it. I won't even have time to talk to her, much less do anything that's gonna make you mad." And listen, I didn't even think she was all that cute, you know what I'm saying?
Cap.
Plus, kinda on the chunky side, if you know what I'm saying. So, don't worry about it. You see that right there? That's called lying. That's what a good man does. When
Facts.
your girlfriend feels threatened by some other female that's now in your life, you should do anything to make sure that she feels secure
Kevin,
in
do you have the
herself
stream
and
pulled
her
up?
beauty as
Yeah.
a woman.
Can you say,
and
"Yeah,
make
we
sure
will"
she
to the
knows
dude?
that nothing
Because I can't message on the
ever
screen that I'm
threatened
at.
the bond that you have with her. But I knew I was lying. One, Bianca was definitely very attractive, and two, in 2010, a magnitude 7 earthquake struck the island of Haiti. It completely devastated the country,
What?
reducing thousands
Doesn't
of
have to do with
buildings to
anything.
rubble. It claimed the lives of over 230,000 people. And it only took 35 seconds. My point being,
that's nice.
it doesn't take
Oh, wait, no, it's
that
not nice.
much
What?
time to
Bro.
ruin
Bro,
everything. But I managed to
didn't
put
mean
my
that.
girl at ease, and we continue with our day. Now,
Oh, I see what he was
meant
trying to say.
every single word that I told her
Oh.
about her not having anything to worry about, because I'm a good guy, and at the time I suffered from a chronic case of nice guy syndrome. I was determined not to pay this Bianca girl any attention. So I did just that. We were very short with each other in passing, and on top of that, she was also going to school and work full time. Sometimes days would go by and I wouldn't see her. She was like a ghost, which was perfect. Fast forward a month later, and my girl and I are having problems. By then, we had been together for a few years, and we had racked up our fair share of fights. This was also around the time that I took my first swing at YouTube. I was making computer programming tutorials, because that was my major in school at the time. But as you can tell, I'm not doing that anymore. But still, I was really preoccupied with trying to figure it out, and we were seeing each other a lot less often. We were also fighting a lot. So eventually it got to the point where I was like, okay, let's take a break. So we broke up. Some time passes, maybe like a month or so.
Wait,
And then
what?
Quinn's
It sounds
mom
weird.
puts everyone in the house in a group chat to figure out dinner. So I'm responding, and then it occurred to me, oh that's Bianca's number. Because even by then, I still didn't even have her number, because I didn't see
There
the
we go.
point, because again,
Yo, bro, can you redo
I'm
your
a
stream?
good
Like the
guy.
stream,
So
your
Quinn
screen share?
said something like, "Hey, let's
It
go
sounds
get tacos."
terrible.
But
Like,
then
I-
Bianca was
inaudible.
like, "Oh, I'm going out with friends tonight. I'll probably just eat with them." So then I replied, just as a joke,
Yeah,
"Oh, what?
so much
Are
better.
you too good for tacos now?" And then she said something slick in return, some like, "Oh, what? Are you gonna miss me or something?" Huh? What do you mean, am I gonna miss you? I don't even know you. We live in the same house, and I don't even know your last name. I wasn't gonna take that shit lying down. So I text her separately something slick in return. Some like, "Oh, please, you ain't shit." Now, was that necessary?
Yes.
No. Did I subconsciously know that I was possibly opening a door that I probably shouldn't? Yes. So why did I do it? Because I'm an idiot. So thus begins our back and forth via text. Fast forward to later that day, guess who's home for tacos? So we all eat, and then after I say to both Quinn and Bianca, hey, let's watch something on Netflix. We end up picking The House of Cards, which, all Kevin Spacey allegations aside, great series. Turns out though, Quinn had already watched it. So after a few nights of watching The House of Cards with us, he stopped coming through. And now, it was just me and Bianca.
Why's she drawn like that, bro?
On
Look
the
at the
couch.
thighs.
Yeah, bro.
By ourselves, watching Netflix. And at first, you know, it was pretty chill. We were just watching the show, but then one night we were watching The House of Cards and it was unusually chilly. So we decided to share a blanket that was just sitting on the couch. So we're under the blanket, but there was still definitely space between us. You know, like a good 2 feet of couch, completely uncharted territory. So there we are watching Netflix, and then she slowly starts to take over the blanket, not even trying to get me to come close to her or anything. Just being a woman. Yeah, I said it. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Women are blanket hoarders. I don't know what it is or why y'all are like this, but every girl that I have ever shared a bed with at some point always tries to claim territory over the entirety of the bed. Like it starts off 50-50,
What?
which at that point, I'm already
Wait, did we
going
have a blanket that
above
one
and
day?
beyond if you ask
No,
me.
bro. We were
No,
outside.
we
You think
didn't.
there was a
Yeah, we're
blanket?
outside, bro.
by like a lot. I'm 215 pounds,
about to say.
6'5".
Oh
So
my God.
logically, I should already have rights to
6'5".
at least 65% of the bed and blankets. But even though I'm damn near
Oh, wait,
100
what?
pounds heavier and a foot taller, technically we're the same amount of people. So she gets half. Fine. But no, women never satisfied. By the end of the night, somehow she has claimed 80% of the bed and 90% of the blanket, leaving me just barely hanging on to
They're
the
sleeping
edge
in
of
the
the
same
bed,
bed?
half covered by the blanket.
How did
which
that happen?
I don't
What?
know if there is a
I blinked, bro.
sensation
What
more
happened?
maddening than being halfway covered by a blanket, right? Either no blanket or all the blanket. That halfway shit, nah. That. So I started to take back some of the blanket because I'm like, what the
Oh, they're on the couch.
I'm Jamaican. You're white. Your people come from the cold. I need this more than you. But of course, her inner woman won't allow her to release ownership of any of the blanket that she's already claimed as her property. So of course, my only other option was to get closer. Eventually,
All right, Kevin, should I reset the server now that
we were
everyone hit
real
60?
close. Like
Yeah.
her thick thigh was firmly pressed against my thigh.
Hey,
And as a
yo.
black guy, that's my ultimate weakness. Thick thighs. It's like kryptonite. Even the strongest men cannot resist for long. So it didn't take much time after that for me to turn to her and be like, what's up? And then she was like, what's up? And then at that point, I realized I'm not a good guy. We get closer and closer. We lean in, and then
Start beatboxing.
Freestyle rapping? Oh.
Got lost in the sauce.
hey,
Bro.
shout out to the best
Ain't
squad.
no way, boy. Ain't no way. Wait. There's no way. Hold up.
Last time on the Young Don the Sauce God YouTube channel.
Wait, what?
So of course, my only other option was to get closer. Eventually,
Oh, this is the part 2.
we were real close. Like her thick thigh was firmly pressed against my thigh. And as a black guy, that's my ultimate weakness. Thick thighs. It's like kryptonite. Even the strongest men cannot resist for long. So it didn't take much time after that for me to turn to her and be like, what's up? And then she was like, what's up? And then at that point, I realized I'm not a good guy. We get closer and closer. We lean in, and then now, before I tell you how this story ends, let me give y'all a lesson real quick on how babies are made. You know, just in case mommy and daddy never ran the birds and the bees
Bro?
by you when you were little. So when a guy and a girl like
Kevin?
each other very much,
What?
they get
What is
together
happening?
and get cooking in the kitchen. The girl
Cooking
brings a
in the
pot with
kitchen.
all the important ingredients, and the guy,
Oh?
well, he brings the sauce. So the guy and the girl, right, they get all hot and bothered and they start cooking, right? And just before they finish cooking, the guy can put some sauce in Shawty's pot. And if he does, there's a good chance that in 9 months, a whole baby will pop out of the pot. Now, there are a few ways to make sure that the pot doesn't have a baby. One, the guy can try and aim the sauce bottle away from the pot, but that can be a little messy. And if just a little sauce manages to get in the pot, then the pot can still pop out a baby. Two, the guy can put a cap on the bottle, which, not as fun. But you do make sure that no sauce gets in the pot, and thus no babies. That is, of course, unless the cap breaks. Which in that case, well, there's always a Tide Pod challenge. And three, the girl can put a little medicine in the pot, and that medicine prevents the pot from having any babies, even if sauce gets in the pot. And that's pretty much how that works. Now everyone here knows exactly how babies are made, which will unfortunately be very important for the rest of this video. So after
Wait,
that
what?
first night of Netflix and chilling, it didn't take us long to start cooking in the kitchen. And boy, could that girl cook. Eventually got to the point where we were cooking almost every night. Your boy was in the
Whoa.
kitchen straight
Ain't no
chefing.
way.
And I particularly enjoyed it because we both love making spicy food. So Bianca would put medicine in the pot so that I could add as much sauce as I wanted. Now the only catch was that we had to keep our nightly banquets a secret. At least that's what we decided, seeing that we weren't too sure how the rest of the family would feel about us having dinner together all the time. It would just make things weird, you know? So we kept it low key. So one day Bianca and I were just chilling in the kitchen. Not cooking, just hanging out. And I don't know what we were talking about, but somehow the conversation got on the topic of forgetfulness. She said something like, "Oh my gosh, my memory is so bad. Like,
Oh,
I just
no.
be forgetting shit." And then I was like, yeah, my memory isn't the best either, but hey, as long as you never forget to put medicine in the pot, I have no problem with your trash memory. With your cute ass. And then she was like, shut up, you're so dumb. I can't stand you. But nah, like, I almost never forget to take them. I've been taking them forever. And then I was like, I'm just playing. Come on, you know I trust you. By almost never forget, you mean like you never forget, right? Like you have a daily alarm or something that reminds you, right? And then she was like, oh my gosh, can you chill? No, I don't have an alarm. I've just been taking them forever, like I never forget. So I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, you know, we've been making a lot of spicy food and I'm just trying to look out for the both of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work at Dick's Sporting Goods, you feel me? They ain't paying me no diaper money over there. And then she was like, wow, you don't trust me. I shouldn't have said anything. What, do you want to see the medicine box or something? So now I'm thinking, dang, maybe I am being a little paranoid. Bianca's a grown woman, she's smart, good head on her shoulders, wants to do big things with her life. There's no way she'd drop the ball like that. Maybe I'm tripping. So I tell her no, I don't need to see the box, and that I trust her. So we're sitting down, talking some more, but for some reason, I just couldn't shake the thought about the whole medicine thing. All I could hear in the back of my head was when she said, I almost never forget to take them. So a little more time passes, and then I turn to her, and I was like, hey, would you mind showing me the medicine box? Look, I trust you, really, I do, but like, since you brought it up, I mean, technically it was like your idea. You know, if I saw it, I know I'd just be at peace. You feel me? It's not you, it's me. I'm just crazy like that. I overthink things, and then, you know, next thing you know, it's gonna affect my confidence in the kitchen, and, you know, I don't. Fine. She cuts me off and is like, fine, okay, geez, I'll show you the box if it will make you happy. So we head to her room, and I'm standing there, and she's like, looking for it? And I'm thinking, if I had something that I took every day, once a day, I'd keep it in the same place, you know? But whatever, I just stand there not saying anything. Finally, she finds it, and then she turns around. I hear her open the box, and then close it. So now my spidey senses are tingling. I could sense that something was not right. She turns around with the biggest puppy dog eyes and was like, okay, I'm gonna show you, but you have to promise that you won't get mad. What? Why do I have to promise that? She opens the container, takes out the pill pack, and shows me. And clear as day, there was a pill that was not taken when it was supposed to be. She's like, okay, I guess I forgot one day, but don't worry about it. I've been taking these forever. I know how my pot works. I assure you, you have nothing to worry about. I am fucked. How did this happen? How did I let this happen? Our lives are now ruined. They're done. They're done. There's no more. It's all done. We can kiss all our dreams goodbye. I'm gonna have to go to school part-time. I have to get another job. Are we gonna have to get married now? I don't want my kid to grow up without his dad living with him. Oh, what is my mom gonna think? Fuck, what is her mom gonna think? I'm black. I hope her parents are cool white people. That would be problematic if they weren't. Well, at least she's pretty.
Whoa. What's going on here?
I guess I can live with this.
Huh?
Done.
Huh?
What'd I miss?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
what's up? Are
she
you
forgot to take a
listening
pill.
to me? Huh?
Oh, and she's
Yeah.
pregnant?
So,
No, I don't know
what
yet.
are we gonna do about this?
Okay.
Do about what? I just told you the pot is not going to have a baby. I promise. I tell her okay, and that I guess
But
we
she
just have to
apparently
wait
she
and see.
turned around and like
Once a month, the pot
opened
gives
it
the
and
girl a
closed it or
message
something
whether
before
or not
she
a
showed him.
baby's on the way. And that message was due in about a
What does that
week.
mean?
So
Open
she
it and
waits.
close it?
basically I don't
1
know
week
like
passes,
here, I'll go to it real
2
quick.
weeks pass, 3 whole.
Where's my mouse? Hello? Okay there. Where was it?
Sense that something was not right. She turns around with the biggest and if I had something that I took every day, once a day, I'd keep it in the same place, you know, but whatever, I just stand there not saying anything. Finally, she finds it, and then she turns around. I hear her open the box, and then close it. So now my spidey senses are tingling. Without his
Alright,
yeah,
let's go
just
back.
have to wait and see. Because once a month, the pot gives the girl a message whether or not a baby's on the way. And that message was due in about a week. So we wait. 1 week passes, 2 weeks pass.
Did you
3
crash?
whole weeks
Huh?
pass.
Oh yeah, but I'm in the server. It's
No
time.
message. And by this point, I am thoroughly shitting myself. Now, Bianca tells me she's still not worried. However, I am just about ready to go and buy a baby test for the pot. But I had to hide my anxiety from her because apparently that stress on her can delay the pot from sending us the message. Now, as I said in my last animation, Bianca was only staying at our house for a few months, and it was about the time that she headed off to boot camp. And still no message. So she packs up her stuff, we all say goodbye, and she leaves. So some time passes, and one day Quinn and I are chilling at the pad, and I get the text. I look, and I see that it's from Bianca, and in my gut, I knew what this was going to be about. I pick up my phone, open the message, and there it was. The pot is having a baby. Psych! Nah, son, I guess Jesus heard my prayers. All 437 of them. Yeah, boy, I dodged that bullet. The pot gave her the message. It was not having a baby. I was so happy, man. I'm so happy. I wasn't gonna have a kid. Yeah.
What is happening?
Made me wanna sing. So
No.
I was like, I'm not gonna have a kid. I'm not gonna have.
No.
So she's home all day having to deal with this. And if it's one thing that Jamaican women cannot stand, is a weak man. So on one
Damn.
hand, she's sympathizing with me, right? She feels bad that her baby boy is heartbroken over his first real love. But on the other hand, right, she's like, hey, stop, right? Like, get over it. You're 17 and tall. Stop crying. In
And
life,
tall.
it's important to know who you are
and what you bring to the table. Tater's YouTube channel, for instance, I know what this is. This isn't Cartoon Network. Okay, I know my animations don't remind you of Rick and Morty, but that's not why you watch, right? Maybe you watch because you relate to my stories. Maybe you think I'm funny. Or maybe you just run this shit in the background like white noise while you play Fortnite. Point is, it all boils down to the fact that you like to hear me talk. And today, I'm here to tell you that you no longer have to wait weeks for a 6-minute video of me talking, because I have just launched a new comedy podcast with one of my good friends. It's hilarious. The first 2 episodes are out. The 3rd episode drops tomorrow. Here's a clip. Take a sample.
Is it simping to have a girlfriend that has OnlyFans? What do you think?
Short answer, no.
Short answer, 100% yes.
Short answer, no, because.
Okay.
So you wouldn't date a girl with OnlyFans? I would if none of her.
I would never claim a girl
what?
that has OnlyFans. I would date a girl that has OnlyFans, but I couldn't. She could not be wifey.
If her face was in, what about if her face wasn't in any pictures?
If her face wasn't in it and she didn't have any like distinctive birthmarks or way to.
That's what I'm saying.
Head to the time trial in a second. We're about to start.
Do you remember my ex from high school? That's a shorty from the My Toxic High School
Indeed.
Relationship videos, you know.
I'm AFK.
I don't think she fuck with me like that no more, man.
Time
Here's
trial
why,
starts in
I
60
think
seconds.
somebody told her about the videos, you know? And without watching them, she just assumed that I was talking shit, you know, because of the title. When in reality, I took the majority of the responsibility for all of the dysfunction that occurred in that relationship. So sometime last year, I shot her a DM, just saying what's up, and she brought up the videos and seemed pretty unhappy about them. So I feel like I should make something abundantly clear. If I didn't make it clear in those videos, I loved this girl, like a lot. Worst heartbreak of my life. You know, because nothing hurts quite like your first real love. We broke up over the phone. It was a summer break after high school graduation. I was in Jamaica visiting my family right before I went off to college in California. And bro, when I say that I was depressed, just moping around the house all day. And whenever I go visit my mom in Jamaica, right, she tries to get some time off from work so she can spend some time with me. So she's home all day having to deal with this. And if it's one thing that Jamaican women cannot stand, is a weak man. So on one hand, she's sympathizing with me, right? She feels bad that her baby boy is heartbroken over his first real love. But on the other hand, right, she's like, hey, stop, right? Like, get over it. You're 17 and tall.
He's not gonna make it. That's
So
so
to
tough.
help me get over this heartbreak, she signs me up for church camp. Now, understand, my mother took me to church every Sunday until I moved to America at 16 years old. And not once in 16 years did she ever consider sending me to church camp. You know? Do you see where I'm going with this? I was being such a bitch about the breakup that my mother was like, this nigga need Jesus. Ain't nothing else gonna help him. So fast forward to the first day of camp, and I get dropped off at the spot where the buses were gonna pick us up and take us to the campsite. And not excited, right? For one, I was going through a phase in my life where I was questioning God. I was saying shit like, I don't know if I believe in a God in the traditional Judeo-Christian sense of the word, but I'm still like spiritual, you know? I meditate. I was being that fucking gaylord, you know what I mean? And I also thought just the idea of church camp was lame, right? Like, no cool kids are going to church camp at 17, right? So I walk up to the signing table and I'm looking around and I'm just like, hold on. Man, I'm not even sure if I'm the coolest guy here. Why do all these kids look normal? Everybody there seemed like cool people, right? It was like 60 to 70 of us, probably 50-50 guys and girls, and everyone's around the same age. So now I'm like nervous because I don't know anybody here and I've never done anything like this. So I'm standing there and then I spot this cute little shorty. She's standing by herself, no one's talking to her. So I'm like, guess who's about to make a friend? So I go over and start talking to her, you know, small talk. And to my surprise, her Jamaican accent was very weak, like mine. Turns out we were both visiting from America, and we both lived like 20 minutes apart in Florida. So that was like my in. I found some common ground
What are the
to stand on.
chances?
But of course, after I get the balls to go and talk to her, right? Other niggas start trying to squeeze their way into our conversation, right?
I
Because
hate
remember,
niggas like
these
that,
are
though.
young
I shouldn't say that.
Jamaican men. They ain't just gonna sit back and watch me
They just
call
slipped.
dibs on all the cuties, you feel me? So I see what's happening, and I pull back because I wasn't trying to crowd this girl. Even at 17, I knew that. So I go find some other people to talk to. Finally, it's time to get on the buses. I get on, find a seat by the window, and I get comfortable, right? So I'm sitting there, and then Shorty gets on the same bus. She comes down the aisle, stops at my bench, and is like, hey, is it cool if I sit here? So of course, you know, I gotta play cool, right? So I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem, that's no problem. Take a seat. Meanwhile, on the inside, just gave my life back to Jesus. Why? Because obviously, there is a God, and he fucks with you, boy. So the bus takes off, and we have like an hour and change to drive to get to the campsite. And the entire time, we're just chopping it up, you know? I'm cracking jokes, she's laughing, and I'm like, okay, I might be in there. So we get to the campsite and orientation begins, right? We get a rundown for what we're gonna do on a daily basis, where we can and can't go in our free time, all of that. So the camp lasted about 10 days. And in a nutshell, one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, right? Not gonna pretend like I became this wholesome church boy after it was done, but it did reopen my mind to the whole God thing in a positive way. And come on, right? A little bit of Jesus ain't never hurt nobody. I mean, sure, there was the whole like crusade. that was pretty bad. And then Europeans did use Christianity as a brainwashing tool during the enslavement of black people in America and the Caribbean.
Why the Naruto? Why the Akatsuki music?
With the Native American. You know what?
That's wild.
My church camp experience was pretty good. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. I made a ton of friends, we played a lot of sports, we did bonfires. It was fun, right? And the entire time, I was still trying to get closer to Shorty. Sometimes we ate lunch together. By the time I gamed, it's practically non-existent, right? I've had one serious girlfriend at this point in my life, so I couldn't take a solid temperature read on this girl at all. So for like the first 5 days, right, I hung out with her when it was convenient, and I did it in a way where I tried not to seem like I was trying to be around her.
Can you help me get to room
you know,
60?
I'm seeing
Yeah,
other
as long as
dudes
you get
trying
in
to
here.
talk to
You
her.
know,
Also,
links
I
in the group.
realized that was
Just
running
join
out of
that.
time. And it got to a point where I was like, if anything is gonna happen, I gotta make a move, and I gotta do it soon. So now it's the next day, right? The 6th day of camp. And that night, we had this little Christian concert thing, right? It was in this concert hall that was like 100 meters from the rest of the campsite. And I say meters because who the fuck knows what 328 feet looks like? So the concert ends, and as we're making our way back up the trail to get back to the dorms, I see Shorty, and she's walking with one of her girlfriends. And I decided that this was the time to pull the trigger. So I walk up to her, you know, I touch her on her hand. I'm like, hey, can I holler at you real quick? She's like, yeah, what's up? And coincidentally, there was like this little gazebo thing, right, off to the side of the trail. And it had this very dim light keeping it lit. So I knew we could sit there and talk and not be super obvious to everyone, right? And low-key set a mood. So I bring her off to the side, right? We sit in the gazebo, and I'm like, so I'ma just come out and say it. I'm feeling you, and I feel like you're feeling me, but I'm not sure, and this camp is gonna end soon. So I just wanna see what's up, you feel me? And then she kinda like giggles, right? And then she's like, yeah, I like you too. I lean in, and then we kiss. It wasn't long, it wasn't crazy, no tongue, because again, church camp, but that almost made it like nicer, you know? And I was proud of myself for having the balls to do it. Sure, looking back, shit was corny, right? But at 17, I didn't know anything about anything. Although, I swore I was a man. You know, I just pulled the cutest girl at camp. You couldn't tell me shit, nigga.
No, they could've stopped me. Big bags, I got.
And then we spent the last 4 days booed up. You know, dudes was calling her my girlfriend. and I was on top of the world, right? Camp ends, and we take the bus back to Kingston, where we first got picked up. Everyone got back their phones, which they took from us, by the way, and then I go find Shorty to get her number, because I'm like, oh, this is my girlfriend now, you know? She gives me her number, but she tells me that it's for the house phone of like her aunt's house where she's staying, and then she tells me that she's gonna get a Jamaican phone soon, and when she does, she'll text me. But in the meantime, I should call the house phone. So we exchange numbers, my mom picks me up, and she's amazed, by the way, in how little over a week I went from being depressed to just radiating joy. So I get home, I turn on my new gospel rap that I got put onto. It was Lecrae and Andy Mineo, and I'm just so happy, bro, right? So I let a couple days go by, and I'm like, okay, time to call Shorty, right? I find the number she gave me, and I call it. It rings, keeps ringing, then I get hit with the person you're trying to reach isn't available message. You know, no option to leave a voicemail. So I'm like, okay, cool. Try again tomorrow. Same thing happened. Try again one more time the next day, nothing. And then I start to think, oh wow, I'm never gonna hear from this girl ever again. But we only kissed like a handful of times, and we only knew each other for like a week, right? So I wasn't heartbroken, but I was bummed, right? Maybe a couple more days passed, and then out of the blue, I get a text. Guess who? Shorty got her Jamaican phone. And long story short, we end up trying to do the whole long distance thing, you know. She goes off to college in Florida, I go to college in California, and as many of you may have guessed, that shit don't work. So after maybe like a couple of weeks of us being at our new colleges, starting our new lives as young adults, we mutually agree to go our separate ways. And I was very okay with it, you know? And at that point, something occurred to me, you know? I realized that I was no longer sad about my ex from high school. And I was now single, happy, and starting college in California. Moral of the story, right? Sometimes people will come into your life at what seems like the perfect time. And while they're here, it's great. But not everyone is meant to stay in your life, and when it's time for them to go, let them go freely. And instead of being sad that they're gone, be grateful for whatever blessings they brought you while they were here.
I like this.
I was one of the roommates.
Like I was saying.
What's the name of this video?
Wait. You just said.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. I feel like that resonated with my soul or something.
Dating my friend's ex? Oh, this is a no, bro.
Slow down, cowboy. So
Wait, I did that on accident. I didn't really date her.
All right.
We went on a date.
I see how
Ew, I don't want to talk about it. You know who.
more, and then eventually we head back to the car.
Who'd she date?
But as we were walking
Julian?
back, I take her by
She
the hand.
did?
I put her up
Yeah,
against
I
the
didn't even
wall,
know that at the
going
time,
for a
bro.
kiss,
I didn't even know that until
which,
just now.
at that point,
Really?
black.
Oh.
But as my lips touched hers, somewhere
Oh,
off
wait.
in the distance,
Oh,
the
never mind.
sound of a sledgehammer
Never mind. Yeah, you're right.
beating on the foundation of my
I had no
relationship
clue.
with my boy could be heard.
I knew that.
But
I wasn't
I've
even
been
like
knowing
trying.
that.
my mind is too
Yeah,
focused
I wasn't
on
trying to get with her. She just, you know, she did the feel me heavy lifting.
Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare, and let me be real with you for a second. This video alone is gonna make me more money than the average doctor earns in a month. And I'm doing it without a college degree. I never went to school for art, or video editing, or writing, or music.
No.
All of
He
these
just
skills I
flexed
learned
so
on
hard
my
for
own
no
using
reason.
online learning platforms like Skillshare.
Bro.
In fact, it was a Skillshare class that I took a
Bro,
couple
he said what
years
he
ago
said.
that
Hey.
really helped me to level up with my use of Photoshop, which is a program
Sponsors
that I
really
use
be
to
doing
draw
like
the
that?
pictures
Huh.
for my animation. Long before they ever approached me to
Oh,
do a
Doritos?
sponsorship.
Please,
Now,
where
I'm
is
not
you
saying
at?
don't go
Yeah, where's
to school.
Doritos,
We
bro?
need highly educated people in our society. I'm not trying to go to a lawyer or a doctor and have him or her tell me that they learned everything that they know from YouTube. But what I am saying is, thanks to the internet, every year more and more people are starting successful
Dude, I
businesses
can't even,
online,
like,
allowing
this
them
dude
to
with
make
the
more
level
money than they
70s just
would by
decided he
simply
wanted to fight the
relying
boss.
on a
It's
degree,
whatever.
giving them the freedom to work on their own terms in an industry that they're actually passionate about. That's why I think you're never
Alright, let me just not get embarrassed anymore.
skill. 2 months is plenty of
sacred code of ethics that governs all relationships between
True.
men everywhere. And basically it boils down to saying,
never put a woman before the broski. Because women come
And go.
women go.
Oh my
Good
god.
bro will hold you down until the day
You die, bro.
dies. Or at least until the day a woman manages to trick him into giving her rights to half his.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty much the same thing. If
Why
you
is this
ask
dude
me.
always
Now,
spitting?
although most of us know the rule, most of us also break it at some point or another. Especially when you just start dating, man. Oh boy. Remember the first girl you fell in love with? Ain't nothing like it,
Yep.
man.
Well,
That
not
girl
fighting
can
this
do
boss either.
no wrong in the beginning. Your very first love, man. Something special. I thought I was gonna marry the first girl I fell in love with. She was gonna have my babies. She would never need for anything. I would have killed a man for this girl. And ain't she fine, boy? Your boys might not think she's all that, but to you, not even Rihanna can touch her, my G. She could have the flattest booty in the world. To you, it couldn't be any better. Because you love her, you got on rose-colored glasses. But eventually, inevitably, the bullshit starts. The arguments come, the honeymoon phase wears off, and before you know it, both of you have had enough, and things fall apart. And when they do, who's gonna be there to help you put the
But why are there
pieces
so many
back
low-level
together,
units on this?
brothers?
Oh my
And don't
god.
get me
Never.
wrong,
We're just,
you
we're just,
flake on them
are
for
we
the
just not
chick,
gonna?
But more times than not, they forgive you for your disloyal ways.
There it is.
And welcome you back with open arms.
Hey, GG, I'm
being
resetting the
first in
server.
line to join
That'd be bad.
that bitch campaign that you just started. But sometimes,
Fuck that bitch campaign. Is that what he
sometimes
said?
you can go
Go
too
back a little
far,
bit.
man. Sometimes your disloyalty to a bro over a girl can be so just started. And welcome you back with open arms while being first in line to join that bitch campaign that you just started. But sometimes you can go too far, man. Sometimes your disloyalty to a bro over a girl can be so egregious that forgiveness is simply not on the table. I know this because I have experienced this firsthand. A mistake that up until that incident I had never made before and will never make again. An incident that I will tell you about today. Now, this story takes place around late September of 2017. This was a little time after that one baddie from Tinder ghosted me for what at the
The link
time
is in
I
the
thought
group
was
that's
no
pinned at the
reason.
top.
I now know exactly why she ghosted me, but that's a topic for another video. Comment down below if you want me to make that video. Anyway, if you watched my How Tinder Made Me Famous video, you know that after she ghosted me, I turned the pain from the rejection into rocket fuel, motivating me to put out a video a week
sir.
for 3 months straight.
One video
while
a
I
week?
had full-time
Yes,
job.
sir.
An accomplishment that since then I have never been able to do again. But because of this almost superhuman work ethic I was able to pull off for 90 days, my channel began to blow up and I was gaining thousands of subscribers a day. But everything comes with a price, man. I had no social life. I went from the house to the gym to my job and back to the house. For 3 months, nothing else mattered. So for 3 months, I didn't talk to a single girl. And as a young, healthy Jamaican man, eventually those inner demons start to surface. And the desire to go back on the hunt began to flood my body. So at the time, I had a good friend who I was very close to, and I shared with him how I was feeling. He would then suggest that I consider going out with a girl we'll call Jane. Now, at first, I was like, what? Because Jane was my friend's ex-girlfriend, but she was an ex from high school and he had just graduated college. He was in a long-term happy relationship with a girl that he thought he'd marry one day, so he assured me that I had absolutely nothing to worry about. She was like a sister to him, he said. They are nothing more than friends. Now, although I appreciated him giving me his blessings in an attempt to help a fellow bro end a drought, I still wasn't too keen on the whole idea, man. It just seemed too weird to me. Especially because I don't buy that bro.
He's starting to bug
for a
again. The audio's
second.
bugging.
I have never been close friends with a girl that I didn't want to smash. Acquaintances, sure. Work friends, yeah, plenty. But
Does that after
if
a
we're
while, it's
texting
streaming for some
often,
reason.
I'm spending my precious time with you. I was probably just in her friend zone. Anyway, one day my friend was throwing a party, but the venue for the party was about an hour or so away, so people were gonna be carpooling to get there. Now, because he was throwing the party, my boy had to get there early to set everything up. So he told me, yo, Jane is gonna be coming to the party. I can get her to pick you up on the way if you want. So I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds good to me. So fast forward to the night of the party and Jane picks me up. So there we are, driving to the party, just vibing, listening to music, and we have our first real conversation where I discovered that she was actually pretty cool. She loved rap music, she was smart, already had her degree, a real degree too, not some BS like communications or anything like that. And she loved to work out, which I could tell because she was pretty fine, man. She looked good in some jeans. And so, on that car ride to the party, we kicked it off. We get to the party, we turn up, and then she takes me back home. So, for like another hour or so, we were just vibing, just me and her. And when we get to the house that I was staying at, which by the way, was my friend's house.
Oh my god.
Sheesh. As she dropped me off and I was saying goodbye, I lean over and I give her a kiss on the cheek. Now, I don't know what made me do it. I don't typically kiss girls on the cheek in situations like this, even if I like them, but I just had the urge. So I kissed her goodbye and went inside. It seemed harmless, but little did I know this would be the beginning of the end of my friendship with my bro. So a week or so goes by and I'm thinking, you know,
Ain't no way.
maybe I'm tripping. Maybe going out with Jane wouldn't be weird. Maybe it's possible that two people who were once very intimate with each other, for them to later become close but platonic friends. So one day I shoot her
They
a
still
text.
doing the
I
dirty,
say,
huh?
Hey, what's up, Jane?
Ain't no way.
You want to hang out sometime? And she said, yeah, for sure. So I'm like, cool, let's get together on Saturday. So Saturday rolls around and I head over to her place. It wasn't a date per se. We were just getting to know each other a little bit. But I show up and Jane is looking good, my G. She ends up taking me to this like amusement park place that I hadn't been to. And
Oh yeah, that's getting sick.
we just had a good time. By the end of the evening, we end up chilling on the beach. So there we are, under the stars, the waves crashing, the crisp ocean breeze rolling over our faces, straight out of a movie, my G. And of course, she ain't bring a sweater, so we get all cuddled up to keep each other warm. And inevitably, your boy tries to make a move. But no, she says, slow down, cowboy. So I'm like, huh? Ragged? all right, I see how it is. So we chill some more, and then eventually we head back to the car. But as we were walking back, I take her by the hand, I put her up against the wall, and I go in for the kiss. Which, at that point, she obliged. But as my lips touched hers, somewhere off in the distance, the sound of a sledgehammer beating on the foundation of my relationship with my boy could be heard. But I didn't hear it. My mind was too focused on other things. So we get back to her place. I spent a little time talking with her family, which her people were cool, man. Her mom and dad, they were geniuses, like literal geniuses. They were scientists. That's what they did. I didn't even know that was like a real thing that people, you know, like you think of scientists, you think of white coats and like bottles, flasks, glass containers with like weird liquids and they mix it, and that's literally what they did for a living. And they were funny, man. And her mom, she liked my videos. At least that's what she said at the time. She might feel differently now, but we'll get to that later. So I'm like, yo, this actually might be cool. So soon after, her mom goes upstairs and now it's just me and Jane on the couch. Wild 'N Out is playing on the TV. And let's just say we picked up where we left off by the beach.
Uh-oh.
Hey, pick up the phone. I wanna go.
What, that's it?
Can you just hit my line?
There's gotta be like a part 2.
Yeah, this is probably it.
Oh, okay.
Because Jane was my friend's ex-girlfriend, but she
What?
was an ex from high school, and he had just
Wait,
graduated
what is this?
college.
What? Are you saying that the friend actually said that you can go and date my ex-girlfriend from high school? He allowed this? Yo, your friend needs to get cut off real
sister.
quick.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's about to hit an ad. Hold
And
up.
today's video is
No, sir. What is this? A
Monster
different
Legends?
one?
Yeah, he's got them all unlocked, man. I don't know.
Oh, I had
Trey
got
is
a lot
impressive.
of comments like that from my last video. Yo, Don, he gave the green light. You Gucci, bro. I don't get what the problem is.
Yeah,
and
nah. This
look,
dude
I
don't know what
get
he's
it.
talking
I
about.
thought I was Gucci too. You know, I'm not a slimy. But regardless of what anybody wanted to say, I see now why it was fucked up. But for you to see that, you need to see my history. You gotta understand my background a little bit more clearly. So check this, right? So after I graduated from high school in Florida, I had a decision to make. Either I was gonna go to any of the several universities that I got accepted to, or I was gonna risk it all and go to a community college in California where I would pursue my dream of one day making it to the NBA. You see, out of high school, I was scouted by a few Division II, but mostly Division III colleges. And it was clear to me that if I was gonna make it to the league, I needed to go D1. Well, one of the only ways you can do that if you aren't scouted directly out of high school is to go to a junior college. You play your heart out for a couple years, and then if you're good enough, you stand a chance of being picked up by a D1 university. So that's what I chose to do. Now, as most of you know, I have Caribbean parents, and anyone who knows anything about Caribbean parents knows that all they want is for their kids to be successful. Immigrant parents in general are like that. Doesn't matter if you're from South Africa, Australia, Jamaica, Trinidad, even if you're from a place like the UK, Canada, or the United States of America. If you got immigrant parents, they just want their kids to get a good education so that their kids can live a better life than theirs. Leave me a comment down below if you can feel what I'm saying. So after I got into all these universities, my parents were over the moon, my G. They felt like they did their jobs. So when I roll up on them and hit them with, so I know y'all spent mad money on all those college applications and sacrificed buying things for yourselves so that I could live a more comfortable life and focus on school, but all his life, my mom was like, are you on drugs right now? Did you get hit in the head with a bat, my G? Cause you sound mad dumb right now, my G. You wanna turn down academic scholarships to go and play basketball? But right when all hope was lost and I thought my hoop dreams were about to be snatched from my hands, my dad came in and saved me. He vouched for me. He looked at my mom and was like, hey, listen, I believe in our son. I think he can do anything that he puts his mind to. If he wants to be the next LeBron James, he can do it. However, after a year of playing basketball at the junior college level, my heart just wasn't in it anymore and I decided to stop. This was a decision that my parents weren't thrilled about because I turned down getting into several highly rated universities in Florida just to quit after only a year. It seemed like a waste, you feel me? As a result, my dad, who was paying for the apartment that I lived in, told me that if this was the decision that I was gonna make, then I gotta pay for myself. I wasn't ready for that. He was like,
hold on, Bridget, oh yeah, said to me. After me stick out my good neck for you, Chris. After me tell your mother say y'all gonna be the next LeBron James. On the ball is life, you. No Rasta. You want to make grown man decision? A style me, you. Breed this. Have fun being rich.
I already didn't enjoy going to school, and I was majoring in computer programming, arguably one of the more demanding majors. The idea of doing that while having to work a full-time job was depressing. Luckily, I had made a friend in my computer science class, and let's call him Q. Q saw the position I was in and asked his moms if it would be okay for me to move in with them, where I would stay in his sister's room, who had just moved to Boston to go to college.
Okay.
This was the same
Cool.
house that the I wasn't ready to be a dad story happened in. This was more clutch than Jordan in the fourth, you feel me? Because the rent was so cheap that I wouldn't have to work full time. That way I could manage the workload I was getting from school. But 2 years after that, I dropped out of school so that I could make animations on YouTube. But by this time, Q's mom saw me as the black son she never had, and I saw Q as my brother. We were family, still are, but Q's mom had a rule. All the kids in the house, white, black, and everything in between, had to go to school. If we didn't, she was gonna charge rent. So yet again, I ran into a money problem. And if I thought majoring in computer science and working a 9 to 5 was hard, it was nothing compared to trying to get an animation-based YouTube channel off the ground while working a full-time job. I simply wasn't able to do it at the time. Furthermore, Q's mom had her master's degree in nursing and his dad had a PhD in engineering. So to her, the idea of banking everything on making cartoons for YouTube didn't make sense to her. So I didn't feel like my dreams were being supported in the house, even though it was from a place of love. She just knew that I was a straight A kid when I'm focused, and she wanted me to take school seriously, just like my own parents. And that's where David comes in, also a fellow artist, and a friend I had made recently. He saw the vision of what I was trying to do, and his parents were artists as well. Not by trade, but they were artists at heart. And their son was an artist as well, so they saw what I was trying to do too. So yet again, by a stroke of good luck, I made a friend who offered to allow me to live with him and his family for a rent that was so low, it was practically free. So I lived with David and his wonderful family for 4 months. And it was in that 4 months where I was in a supportive environment that I was able to focus on my art and believe in myself enough to make my YouTube channel successful. Do you see where I'm going with this? You could reasonably make the argument that if it wasn't for David and his family, the Young Don the Sauce God YouTube channel wouldn't be what it is today. I mean, it might have never gotten off the ground. That's the guy. That's the guy whose ex-girlfriend I decided to date. And here's what I need to tell you in the last video.
Nah, bro.
After my YouTube channel blew up,
We gotta go to
David
Seinfeld.
and I decided that we were gonna move to Austin, Texas together with 340 Ori and a couple other friends. And I had
see?
the brilliant idea of telling Jane that
You heard that?
This posed a serious problem for David because David's girlfriend wasn't gonna be cool with that. So David told me I had to choose. I had to choose between him and my new girlfriend.
Oh no.
Who do you think I picked?
Bro.
Yeah. Ladies and
Oh my
gentlemen,
gosh,
welcome to my
bro.
new segment, Instagram Shoutout.
Ain't no way.
Jaden Fura.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Like, I was hoping that that's not what he picked.
That's actually crazy. I can't believe he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Like, what? Not valid.
Bro, that story had me invested, bro. I was like,
Not valid, bro.
nah, not at all. That's crazy. And he just had met the
So
person.
glad you're back.
Yeah, nah, dude.
I can't wait
Straight
to see
bugging.
you. To
Straight
which
bugging.
Yeah.
she didn't respond.
That's one I can't
Next day
agree
rolls
with.
around. She texts me. We need to talk. No good news in the history of ever has ever come after. We need to talk.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I feel like
No
some
way.
people.
What is it this time?
Rub my leg. I used to have to crawl. She had to rub my leg.
I've definitely had some nights after.
How is he gonna make
At
it, bro?
least
You see-
once
I
in
don't
their
know what was
life,
happening.
right?
I'm not
It's a
gonna-
question that I've asked myself more than a couple times. Nowadays, I live by a code of ethics and principles that don't allow me to go backwards and try to rekindle an old flame. But I
Oh.
wasn't
What
always
character
like
is that?
this. I can think of two
glowing
times in my
yellow
life
or
where I did
glowing blue one?
exactly
Deku.
just that. Now, the first time was
100%.
completely by accident.
He's the
right?
Kraken.
A girl that I really liked broke up with me, and then a couple months later came back asking for a second chance. Now, at the time, I had no clue as to why this happened. I just thought she had a change of heart, realize that I was a great guy and she had made a mistake. But now that I'm older and been around the block a couple more times, I realize why she came back. And
Was it the
I think
slime?
it's a story worth sharing, not so that you can try and win back an old love because you're better off moving on,
True.
but because this would have been useful information to me when I was younger. And hopefully there is some 17-year-old dude out there that this video will teach something too. So, you remember Taylor, right? First appeared in my Toxic High School Relationship series, then in my church camp video. This is the girl that this story is about. We met around the beginning of summer between my junior and senior year of high school. It was during the SAT test. We were standing outside the testing center where my eye was caught by this cute little Asian-y, Latina-y girl that was just standing by herself. And I had recognized her from the girls' basketball team because she was the best player on the team, right? Could shoot lights out from 3, and she was one of the best ball handlers on the team. So I see her, and for whatever reason, I decided to go over and talk to her. You know, shoot the breeze. And you know how this shit goes from here. I get her number, we start texting, I'm flirting, she's flirting. And before you know it, we're hanging out, fooling around, and in no time at all, I am in love with this girl. So fast forward to like end of June, beginning of July, we're halfway through the summer break, the SATs are nothing but a distant memory, and this girl has now become my sun, moon, and stars. So one day, she tells me that her family is going on a cruise and that they're gonna be gone for a few weeks. Also, there will be Wi-Fi, but it's gonna be limited, and she's gonna be busy with her family doing vacation shit. So communication will be limited. And of course, me being young, dumb, and in love, I was very bummed out by this, you know? But what you gonna do? So I see her one more time before she leaves. We make a big deal about not being able to see each other. We kiss goodbye as if we'd never see each other again. And then she set off on vacation with her family. And just as she said, we didn't communicate much while she was gone. Maybe a couple of messages were sent back and forth over the course of the 3 weeks she was gone. But I managed to get through it, fueled by young love and the anticipation of the return of my Juliet. Finally, the day of her return arrives, and I remember texting her and not getting a response for most of that day. Eventually, she reaches out to me, but comes across distant. I probably responded right away, saying something like, "I'm so glad you're back. I can't wait to see you." To which she didn't respond. Next day rolls around, she texts me, "We need to talk." No good news in the history of ever has ever come after "we need to talk." And my gut already knew that this was gonna be bad, but inexperience blinded me from the heartbreak train that was so clearly barreling towards me. So we meet up at a park that we hung out at a lot close to her house. And she broke up with me, nigga, surprise. She said some bullshit about making friends and freedom. I don't know what happened on that cruise, but she probably just got digged down by some cool older guy with more game than me, and that put things in perspective for her, you know? So when she came back to the lovesick, clingy puppy that was a 17-year-old me, she wasn't into it anymore, which makes sense now. I mean, that's not a very uncommon story. But luckily, I was still naive enough to buy her story at the time, so I didn't fucking kill myself. But I was still very much heartbroken, right? And I remember trying to convince her to get back with me, which almost guaranteed that she was not gonna get back with me. You see, when a girl pulls away, the only appropriate response, especially if you want her to come back, is to pull back even further. So after the begging and the pleading and the baby come back, you can blame it all on me. Didn't work. I eventually just gave up and did what every dude does in this situation. You crawl back to your niggas, broken and defeated. The same niggas that were always there for you, but you abandoned them for a girl who has now left you in shambles. And at first they make sure you realize how fucked up it was for you to turn your back on them for a girl. There were many a days where niggas could not run full court because you were off somewhere cuddled up with some girl. Many nights when the freestyle session in the back of the car didn't hit the same because you weren't there. And even though you're trash at freestyling, your presence added to the vibe. And you let some girl take that away. And now she's done with you and left you a shell of the man you once were.
Fact.
But they are 10 toes down. So they take you back into the group so they can rebuild you from the rubble into a better, stronger nigga. And like a phoenix, you rise from the ashes on a healthy diet of fuck that bitch. And she wasn't even that bad anyways. And with time, you return to form. And you start acting like your old self. But now, you're better, stronger.
I'm out on a lake house.
Has made you more of a
I'm
savage.
the only nigga here, bro.
And thus begins your journey to becoming
all the white
young Don, the sauce god. Or whatever the fuck your name is, nigga. You get the gist. And that's what happened to me. By the time senior year started,
I've been grinding
I
off
had
the
gone
videos.
over the breakup, and I held no
Y'all
resentment
been grinding off the
towards
videos,
Taylor.
YouTube videos.
The only thing I cared about was basketball, school,
Doing
and my
good
niggas.
work.
I would see
That's
Taylor
Kevin.
at school and wave hello and keep it moving. And she noticed this.
What's up,
She
Kevin?
saw the glow. She saw that I was okay without her and had moved on. I didn't text her. I had no interest in being friends with her. And that ultimately is why she
Yesterday
came
was
back.
sick. I got
But
to
again,
drive a racing
I didn't know
bus.
that.
It was crazy.
I didn't know that's why she came
was
back at the
fucking
time,
swerving
which is
and
why
shit.
about
It was
7
fun.
months later, she broke up
sounds
with
dope,
me
bro.
again.
Yeah.
But the second time I got her
Vacation is
back, I
nice.
wasn't as clueless as the first. But that's a story.
Man, when y'all taking a vacation, y'all been making YouTube videos every single day.
I hit her back like I know. I got her touching her toes. Baby, throw that shit my way.
Ramon,
I know what you wanna say.
we get like 5K. Let's go somewhere.
What?
We get like 5K. Let's go somewhere.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Vacation type thing, man.
I'm down.
I bet. Any ideas? Anywhere you want to go? Like any somewhere like hopefully not too hopefully.
I'm not sure. I haven't even thought about that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it too much. I've been thinking about videos and other stuff. But we definitely need to, you feel me? That's connections and opportunity.
That's a fact.
So it's part of, we could have that as an excuse. You feel me? Saying it's part of it. Part of business.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
Y'all boys need a break. Y'all been grinding it out,
Nah,
racking
not
up them
anytime
views and
soon.
shit.
For me, at
yeah,
least.
later on. Yeah, I
got-
can't do a break
got
yet.
bigger things on my mind.
Yeah, we ain't getting enough yet. When we
Yes, sir.
get there, then we'll maybe consider it.
Yeah. Big plays. Up, down, left, right.
Let me see.
I'm making these plays down to hut. Like, maybe some mutts.
We should come up with a list of places eventually.
Yeah.
Sort through them, like what to do. Any like, you got a top 3 right now? Just name random places you consider. Just anything random. Just what place you been wanting to go to? California?
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably
California.
Dang, y'all go to California. Y'all come down to LA. You can meet
Of
up.
course. Of course. Where's Nikki at? I need to find
Vegas,
him.
bro. I wanna go to Vegas too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I go to
Okay,
Vegas
so-
sometimes.
Come
California.
back with some like chlamydia.
I don't think I want to do that.
Oh.
I've already done that. California. I spelled California wrong.
What you know
I
about
did.
my phone? She's gonna say something quirky and funny, and of course she's gonna be hella cute. So I'ma smile, fam. I'm a smiler. Always have been, always will be. So I'ma hit her with that big ass smile, and then she's gonna look at my face.
Las Vegas is in Nevada.
Tinder.
So,
Fucking
yeah.
Tinder, man. So I've known about Tinder since its birth in 2012. I also know a handful of people personally who
Bro,
have
Kevin,
had
you ever been
great
somewhere
success
and you're
with
like the
Tinder.
only black
However,
dude
it
there,
wasn't
and there's
until
like
very
a shit ton of white
recently,
people?
and I'm talking like
Like,
within the
bruh,
last
Mhm.
3
what the
months that
hell,
I've
bro?
Often.
ever used Tinder or
I
an
used to go to a
app
school
right
where I was
now,
like,
bro.
See, for
the
the
one of like
longest while, your
5.
boy
Wait, it
was
was
a
like
straight
probably like
lover boy,
less than
man.
20
Just
black
call
people.
me
There was like
Romeo,
3,000
my
people there.
G. I have never
That's
not
fucking
been
crazy,
in a
bro. It's
serious
so
long-term
weird.
relationship
You
for
like
longer than
feel
a
out of
2-month
place.
period
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I
My
was
brother's
16
that.
years old. And
So I've
although
been in so
I
many
am
different
far
places
from
like that.
perfect,
So
I
it's
have
just,
always tried my best to be
those are two
hashtag
really,
loyal, honest, and
I suppose
faithful.
like.
So
Did Dawson get left
downloading an
behind
app
again?
for hooking up never even crossed my mind. So my most recent
He's the one on
relationship
the
ended
train
earlier
that like
this year in
lagged
like
super hard.
February. And after we broke up, I said to myself that I was gonna be celibate.
I was trying to make
for
sure that he didn't get left behind
I
before,
know,
but I crashed. So.
sounds crazy out loud, but yeah, your boy
Nah,
was ready to
I couldn't
give
look
up
out for my boy
entering
Dalton.
the gates of heaven for a whole year at all costs.
Oh.
I wanted to take all that pent-up
Bro,
energy
I've
and
been on that
direct
white.
it towards my YouTube
I
channel.
went
So
fishing
fast forward to
yesterday.
August, 6
Oh,
months
fishing. I
after
used
the
to go fishing when I
breakup,
was younger,
and
bro.
I'm at
That's
my
actually fun.
orthodontist
You're
getting
what?
my braces
I
tightened.
used to go fishing
Then
when I
at
was younger.
some point during the appointment, my
vomit every time.
orthodontist turns to me and says,
It happens when you're on boats too.
we're gonna need to pull out some of your
And
teeth.
plain.
I'll be
I'm like,
honest.
And
what?
I'll be honest.
Why?
White
Why?
people.
She's like, yeah, you
I'll
just,
be honest. White people fish
you
a lot,
just,
but like,
you have,
yeah, fishing is fun,
you have
bro.
too many
Fishing
teeth.
is
When
fun.
the fish
They're
hooks
in
on
the
your
way.
line, you just like.
Turns
sheesh,
out,
you're like,
And when you're in there
apparently,
for like
I
2
had
hours
too
and don't get a
many-
single bite.
too many teeth.
Well, it is,
basically,
yeah, you
bro,
can be
always
chill
my
and
teeth,
talking and
bro.
stuff
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
sure.
The
problem is I
orthodontist
went with
needed
my
some
dad,
more room to
And
work.
then it was just a
So
bunch of
she
like
wanted me
Oh,
to
yeah.
get some teeth
waiting?
pulled.
random
So I'm
people
like,
that I just
all
didn't
right,
know.
how many teeth do I need?
Whenever
to
I
get
went, it was
pulled?
never like random. Like there was always
This
random
woman
spots.
says to
And then
me
the other
that I
times were,
need
like,
to
at
get
summer
6 teeth
Oh,
pulled.
summer
She
camp?
wants to rip 6 teeth out of my face. Then she points out the teeth that I needed to get pulled.
I was playing Sea of Thieves with Claire and Ronan, right?
Yeah.
And I was on the rowboat. Like, dang, where did you learn to drive a rowboat, right?
Yeah.
And it brought this story into my head that I haven't even remembered for years. But I was
Mm-hmm.
in summer camp on a canoe with a little fat white kid.
Mhm.
And we were rowing. And each one of us had a paddle, right? We're in the middle of the river. You know, going crazy, mangroves and alligators and snakes and shit.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, I turn around because this kid was like, he started making some weird noises. I was like, what?
Mhm.
I look back.
Hey, yo.
There is no paddle in this nigga's hands.
What? Did you
I
drop
said,
it or something?
Bro, where is your paddle? He's like, bro, I dropped it. And then he's like
Oh,
freaking out. And I had to solo paddle with one paddle. It was me and this little fat white kid. And I'm not gonna
So
give him my paddle because we're not getting anywhere if he's able to drop his paddle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was in like middle school. I was not in no position to be paddling some dude that's triple my weight probably. I'm over here. I'm like 4'7", bro. I did not need to deal with that.
That's tough.
So we were on the river for the longest time until we finally got there. They were like, why you take so long? And I look over at this dude. I'm like, bro, why don't you ask him? And I never went canoeing again. I just didn't trust anyone.
Yes.
I lost all my trust that day.
You ain't know what fat white kid would drop
Bro,
his paddle next, bro.
it's so hard to do it by yourself. Because normally it's like one person on each side. I had to do both sides. I had to switch, bro.
That sucks.
It's annoying.
It was all a part of his plan.
Yeah, bro.
But you probably got like ripped biceps now,
My
though.
man ain't drop it. He
Not
threw
from
it.
that. What?
Yeah,
Bro, that was just like my experience there. And like, my summer camp experiences were like the worst.
Oh,
bro.
you know my worst experience? I was riding 4-wheelers with my father and I'm right.
Mhm.
And they told me, all right, make sure you follow us. And my dumb ass decided to turn off by myself and got lost like on the dirt bike trail for like 3 hours by myself. My 4-wheeler got stuck in mud, so I left it behind. I was just walking around.
I want to go, bro. I want to ride like a quad bike or something, just around. Let's go to the desert, Kevin. Where's somewhere
desert?
there's a desert at?
You don't want to go to no desert.
You don't want to go to a desert, bro. You should
Nah, bro.
go to some nice
A
beach
desert
and
would
go
be
dune
fun, bro.
buggying.
Throw some dudes into cactuses, bro.
Not as hot as it is.
I'm used to it being hot, bro.
No, in the desert it's gonna be way hotter than we.
Yeah, it's gonna be dry.
Nigga, no, nigga, it's gonna be damp.
Death?
You ever went to Vegas in the summertime?
Nope.
Yeah, I did. It was hot as fuck, bro. Oh my god.
That ain't even worse.
Jesus Christ.
It's literally hell.
Bro, you walk out of the
You
hotel
carry
and
me?
you just
Yeah, if you get
Like that's what they
sweating.
got. Listen, they got air conditioners outside of the hotel to spray you with like water and shit when you walking
Yeah,
out.
for
You know,
real.
it's so hot.
It's like night and day, bro. Oh, it's crazy. Bro, I never seen so much green in my entire life. And right on the lake, trees everywhere. Kind of nice.
You see these trees, man? You see this water?
Facts, though. That's me right now. See this water, bro? It's everywhere. Yeah, bro. If you want to, you should go dune buggying. I'm gonna do that today, probably. We're gonna hit the racing boat again, and then we're gonna go do.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Why you sound like you?
Yeah, what? Marty just cut out for me.
It happens.
You just cut out for me if you were
You
talking to
just
me.
gotta accept it. But you'll never
I
know
want
what.
to help.
Lake Pimp.
Do you say Lake Pimp?
Yeah, there's a boat across
Four
from me.
wisdom
That's other
teeth,
dude's
2
lake house, and their
premolars,
boat's
and
name
I
is Lake
didn't
Pimp.
have a choice. This was the only way that she was
He's
gonna
got a
make my
fucking
smile
Raiders flag.
perfect. So the appointment ends, and I leave the orthodontist, and I'm driving home, just trying to
Here, you wanna
process
see it?
this
I'm not trying to
information.
Probably gonna have to
but
start
it's
clicking
And then
that.
it occurred to me, I'm gonna be
Really?
fucking ugly
Yep, I'm not
for
there.
a long ass time. Like for a solid 6 months. I'm gonna have these 2 big ass gaps in the front of my mouth. And I'm not gonna get laid once, right? I could just imagine it. I'm gonna see a baddie, right? At the mall or something. I'm gonna walk up to her, you know, all smooth like. I'm gonna start chopping it up with her. She's gonna be feeling my vibe, sipping my sauce. And right before I'm about to be like, hey, put your number in my phone, she's gonna say something quirky and funny. And of course, she's gonna be hella cute. So I'm a smile,
Yeah,
fam.
we gotta click.
I'm a smiler. Always have been, always will be. So I'ma hit her with that big ass smile, and then she's gonna look at my
surprised y'all ain't
face and
bored
see
of
the 2 big ass
anime
gaps in
fighters
my
should be
mouth,
already.
and then she's gonna think,
It's
oh
not dead yet.
shit, why this nigga
Yeah, I
ain't
know.
got no
Are you
teeth?
here?
Damn.
Oh hell
No, that's why I said you're gonna have to start clicking.
This dude
I'm
has
not there.
ginger
I crashed a lot with this.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
And then she's gonna curve
Bro,
me like
that's
a
not- I
baseball,
didn't know that's what you
dog.
meant.
And I know what you're thinking. But Don,
shit.
I thought you said you
Nah,
didn't
this
want to
isn't
get
gonna
laid.
happen this time.
Yes, that was the plan. But remember, by this point, it's already been 6 months.
Yeah, I know.
6
Unfortunately.
months of no cheeks.
There's no shot,
And
bro.
here's the kicker. When I broke up with my ex, I also gave up porn, man.
He needs some milk.
Listen, I
Bro, what
have
is
my
that?
reasons, okay? I'm not just trying to torture myself. It's called no fap. Basically, what it entails is you don't jerk off to porn, and then for some reason you turn into like a Super Saiyan. Nigga, look, I don't know, okay? It just works.
Oh,
I
can you
do
hear me,
not
Tom?
for it. Wanna know how I know
really
it works?
does work.
But bam! I'm not gonna explain how they're related, but I assure you
No.
they are. I'll leave a link down below if you really want to know. But what I'm trying to say
don't
is that
got
for
none?
6 months
It's not gonna
I
happen.
had no
wasn't
cheeks.
even
I'm
paying
making order
attention, so I
call.
wasn't
Only
even
get
clicking,
off
Kevin.
to my
Yeah, I know.
imagination. Do you know
tried to
what
listen
that's
to it, but it
I
like?
ordered last
It's like
time.
for years, every day. you
I ain't
can
ordered
be
that last
succulent,
time, man.
I
juicy,
ordered
and
for
shaken,
Christmas,
and
please.
cooked
Literally,
to
I ordered
perfection.
both
And
of them.
you had the option to have it every day for
Go
6
to the beach.
years. And then one day, someone comes to you and says, hey, for the next 12 months, instead of chicken, you can only have chicken-flavored saltine crackers. Oh, no. Do you understand me? I didn't know if I could go another 6 months of chicken-flavored saltine crackers, my G. So I was panicked, okay? I was desperate. I needed to taste some real chicken again. One last time before I lost all my teeth. So I downloaded Tinder. I download the app and I get to swiping. Eventually your boy got some matches. So now I'm fishing, right? I got several lines out into the ocean and I'm just waiting for one to bite. It took a couple days, but eventually I got one on the line. All I had to do now was reel her in. And as I'm talking to her, she seemed super cool, right? On top of that, she was pretty cute, man. And on top of that, she had that booty, you know what I'm saying, right? So, you know, I'm putting in work, trying to spit that game over text, which is pretty hard, right? Because South gets lost in translation. The way they perceive you has so much to do with them and how they choose to interpret the texts. Finally, like 5 days before my surgery, she decides to come through. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and she pulls up to the crib. So I'm like, okay,
wait,
I see
let me
you,
check.
Tinder. Way to come through. She
check.
walks in looking like a straight
Yeah, that's
snack,
cool.
my G. Smelling all nice and shit. She goes in my room, hops on my bed. I'm like, okay, your boy's about to get some chicken. I get into bed with her, talk for a little, and then we start making out. I'm lying there thinking, I don't know who invented Tinder, but whoever did deserves a Nobel Prize, my G. So we're making out, and then she just stops and sits up. So I'm like, what's up? She looks at me and says, you're just trying to
Yeah?
I'm like, huh? Yeah. What do you mean? You came over here to my house at 1 in the morning. I just met you right now for the first time in person, and you're sitting on my lap making out with me.
The Roblox group.
What do you think I'm trying to do? She looks
Yeah,
at me
man.
and says, "Ugh, you're all the same." That was when I knew that this girl was insane. But I'm a dude. Certain things by this point have already been set in motion, if you know what I mean. So I try to save the situation. I'm like, hey, look, I get it. You want more than just chicken, right? I can't promise you that. But I'm a cool dude, man. We can get to know each other, see where things go. But she was not having it. She started to really lay into me like I was this asshole who just wanted to use her. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why did you even come over here? It's 1 in the morning. These aren't let's hang out and talk about our feelings hours. These are cheek beating hours. So I kick her out. I tell her to leave because I was like, no, I'm not about to do this with you. Because it's one thing if I misinterpret the signals, right? I mean, maybe I was wrong. Maybe when a random girl who's never met you before comes over to your house, hops in your bed and starts making out with you, that doesn't mean she wants to fuck. I could have been wrong about the whole thing. But no. I'm not about to have an argument or fight with you. I don't even know you. So she got her stuff and storms out. Just walks out the door, gets in her car, and then leaves. And I'm just standing there like, damn, I really am about to be stuck on this chicken-flavored saltine cracker diet for a long-ass time. But luckily, turns out, I'm not ugly. I had my surgery, it's been a couple months, and you can't even really see the gaps, even when I smile. So it's not that bad after all. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I've had some A1 chicken since then, and it was scrumptious. Moral of the story, if you're gonna use something like Tinder to meet people, be careful and be cautious, because you got some really interesting people out there, man.
You heard that, Kevin?
What happened? I was looking at something.
Her friend tells me, LOL,
oh, what he said?
nah,
What the dude said about
she's
Tinder?
fine. This chick straight up ripped me out of the fucking Matrix, my G. I realized that this girl had...
Alright, I'm gonna do the next one, and then I'm gonna lay down because my head hurts.
In the Q&A that I did a couple weeks ago, I was asked the question, when did I realize that I was the sauce? God. And then I said,
That's what,
there was a
2.5
one
hours of
particular
streaming?
moment where I just evolved into the Sauce God. Nigga, this is
I'm gonna
not
take a break,
Pokemon.
though, 'cause my head hurts. Alright.
That was a lie. I told
After this one?
myself at the time of the Q&A that the person that I am today, the
What'd you say?
sauce that I have
After this one,
acquired,
right?
was of course
After
a
this
result
one.
of learning from all the
Okay,
lessons
go to
that
the
life
rest.
has given me. And sure, that's true to an extent for everyone's growth in life, but there was definitely a tipping point in my life. An embarrassing incident that changed me forever. And I didn't want to face that fact at the time of the Q&A because it happened so recently. As recent as August of this year. And my ego didn't want to acknowledge that even as
we hit
recently as a
600,
few
thank you.
months ago, I lacked
Once
a
again,
lot of the
hold up, if I got
sauce
energy
that I
for
have
this.
today. So
If
let's
you
talk
haven't
about
already
this incident.
subscribed,
So if you
we're
watched
doing a
my
big
last
giveaway at
video,
1K.
You know, that at the
You know we
beginning
going
of
crazy.
August of this
So
year,
subscribe,
I
tell your friends, tell your
experimented with
grandpa,
Tinder for the first
your
time.
grandma,
And as
your
you know,
dad,
the
your
first
mom.
girl
Tell
that I
everyone to
ended up
subscribe because we're
meeting
going
from
crazy
Tinder was
with the content.
that
And you know that's about it.
crazy. So
That's all
needless
needs to
to
be
say,
said.
I wasn't too impressed with the app pretty early on, so I was ready to delete it. But right before I did, I matched again with this other girl. Now, I didn't just match with this girl, she super liked me. By
Damn.
that I mean, on the Tinder app, you have the ability to use a function that is known as a super like. You get one of these a day, and basically, you use it when you see someone with a profile
for the
that
sub,
really stands
Eddie
out to
Cole.
you. So I see this chick on
Cole.
Tinder, and she's
I'm gonna
got
sneeze.
it. Pretty face, fat ass, tall,
you.
plump,
You're welcome.
pink lips, athletic build. On a visual level, she was checking off all the boxes, okay? So I was like, hell yeah. Let's give this whole Tinder thing one more chance. So we get to talking, and before you know it, we're on our first meetup slash date thing. And the day went amazing. We hit the beach, caught a movie, hit the jacuzzi, and the whole day we're making out. Just a really successful day. So she leaves, and I am just smitten by this chick. I got slapped in the face by what my boy Yandi calls Tinder fever. And I'm on cloud 9, right? Because this girl was hella boosting your boy. Like, it was clear that she was really feeling me. So now this girl is all I can think about, right? All I wanted to do was kick it with her. I started thinking of all the cool shit we were gonna do together. I was gonna take her back to Jamaica, show her off to my homies, cause fam, she was a 10. Like a solid 10. Not a 9, not a 9.5, a f***ing 10. And things escalated real quick. Like within days, we both deleted the Tinder app. We were calling each other babe and baby. She was telling her folks about me all in the first week of knowing each other, my G. I was sipping the relationship Kool-Aid hard. I have never been into a girl so fast in my life. So everything's going great, right? And then one day, nothing. Just complete
I'm not sure if the server's
radio
full.
silence. Like we were
It probably
texting each
is,
other
but
right
I
before
don't-
bed. I sent her a message and then she didn't respond. So I'm like, she fell asleep. Next day comes around, the whole morning and afternoon goes by and she didn't hit me up once. So I was like, all right, I'll hit her. No reply. Now, I wasn't gonna be that guy who blows up her phone, so I let it rock. The whole rest of the day goes by. Nothing. The next day comes around, I wait until right before I go to bed and I'm like, yo, everything cool? No response. So now I'm like, what the f is going on? Based on our last conversation, I thought everything was Gucci. So I'm thinking, damn, I hope she's okay. Like, I hope she isn't in the hospital or some shit. So I wait until the morning and I hit her friend up on Instagram. And I asked her if she had heard if her friend got hurt or anything. Her friend tells me, LOL, nah, she's fine.
Bro,
This
bro.
chick straight up ripped me out of the fucking matrix, my G. I realized that this girl had dropped me like a sack of
Bro.
potatoes. So,
Bro,
I
word
was
for
hurt,
word.
fam, or maybe a better word was embarrassed.
Except it was
my ego was hurt.
Ayo.
Now, I'm glad to say by this point in my life, I had already learned not to chase someone who doesn't want you. So I did let her go after learning
That's
that she
crazy,
just
bro.
ignored
Oh
me.
my
But I
God.
was still hurt. For days, I felt like shit. How could she do that? I thought, what a heartless asshole. But after a couple days, I wasn't even mad anymore. I was just curious.
Wait, are you at the time
How
trial?
did this girl go from being
There's a
so
time trial?
hot for me to so
Yeah.
cold, so quick?
The door's closing,
How is
bro.
that even
Whatever.
possible? I realized that I
serious?
must have done something wrong.
Bro, I was
Somewhere
I
along
was
the
on
line, I
Streamlabs
made some
editing
bad
something, bro.
moves. So I started looking for answers,
Oh
and
my
as I was looking for answers, I
God.
also started to really become more disciplined with my meditation routine and
can
going
I-
to the
how
gym
can I-
every
I wish I could
single
spectate you.
day. I started reading books on the psychology of women and people in general.
Whatever,
I
dude.
wanted to learn what
That's all
makes
good.
people attracted to other people and what keeps them attracted, as well as what turns people off from other
I wasn't
people.
paying attention,
Essentially,
bro. I had my
started
chat
to
that close, so I
study
didn't even
the
see it.
science
You're
of
good, bro.
South. And what started off as me wanting to never get dropped by a girl like that again turned into my entire persona evolving. Over the course
what
of
did
just
he-
a
what
couple
happened?
months, I watched myself change into another person. I literally
can you go
saw
back a
a
little bit? 'Cause I
change
like
in the
this one. I'm
people
invested.
around me, how they approached me, how they acted towards
Where's
me.
my
And
cursor?
it didn't stop there. After this girl dropped me, I'm like, what?
Hold up. I'm just gonna go back all the way to like 3 minutes.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that,
full
when
screen
he
this
said
other
that,
screen.
bro, oh my gosh, my heart started beating. It started racing.
Whoa.
When he said, LOL, nah, she's fine. My heart did a jump.
Alright.
That thing.
We're watching this on full screen. Actually, no, I'll make it a little bit smaller. I'll open up the chat in case I get something rare, you know?
Why is this dude in a wheelchair? Who is this?
What room can you do? We can do 60. What's 63 or something like that together?
63, if we try.
Yeah.
But we just get to 60.
Normally we just stop at 60 though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run and DM me. He said removed hard quests, fix many other bugs, fix save players in mission, fix savior, added a stuck button, added victory supplies to rare, added 3 new mods. Okay, bet. I can never trust it.
Each other, my G. I was sipping the relationship Kool-Aid hard. I have never been into a girl so fast in my life. So everything's going great, right? And then one day, nothing. Just complete radio silence. Like we were texting each other right before bed. I sent her a message and then she didn't respond. So I'm like, she fell asleep. Next day comes around, the whole morning and afternoon goes by and she didn't hit me up once. So I was like, all right, I'll hit her. No reply. Now, I wasn't gonna be that guy who blows up her phone, so I let her ride. The whole rest of the day goes by. Nothing. The next day comes around. I wait until right before I go to bed and I'm like, yo, everything cool? No response. So now I'm like, what the is going on? Based on our last conversation, I thought everything was Gucci. So I'm thinking, damn, I hope she's okay. Like, I hope she isn't in the hospital. So I wait until the morning and I hit her friend up on Instagram. And I asked her if she had heard if her friend got hurt or anything. Her friend tells me, LOL, nah, she's fine. This chick straight up ripped
my soul.
me out of the fucking Matrix, my G. I realized that this girl had dropped me like a sack of potatoes. So I was hurt, fam. Or maybe a better word was embarrassed. My ego was hurt. Now, I'm glad to say by this point in my life, I had already learned not to chase someone who doesn't want you. So I did let her go after learning that she was just ignoring me. But I was still hurt. For days, I felt like shit. How could she do that, I thought? What a heartless asshole. But after a couple days, I wasn't even mad anymore. I was just curious. How did this girl go from being so hot for me to so cold so quickly? How is that even possible? I realized that I must have done something wrong. Somewhere along the line, I made some bad moves. So I started looking for answers. And as I was looking for answers, I also started to really become more disciplined with my meditation routine and going to the gym every single day. I started reading books on the psychology of women and people in general. I wanted to learn what makes people attracted to other people and what keeps them attracted, as well as what turns people off from other people. Essentially, I started to study the science of South. And what started off as me wanting to never get dropped by a girl like that again turned into my entire persona evolving. Over the course of just a couple months, I watched myself change into another person. I literally saw a change in the people around me, how they approached me, how they acted towards me. And it didn't stop there. After this girl dropped me, I recommitted to my YouTube channel in a whole new way. I was motivated by the rejection as well as the positive changes I was seeing in my life. That was when I committed to doing an animation a week, a commitment I have not broken once since I made it. I mean, just take a listen to one of my older animations. So my dad is trying to get us in the car and I'm still acting drunk, and then I decide to start hopping up on the wall and jumping back down. I do it once, perfect landing. Even though you can tell that the person talking was your boy, my whole energy was different. It was less magnetic, less saucy. So even my YouTube channel got a serious bump in quality from this whole ordeal. And then it happened. After weeks of applying this new approach to my life and having this new drive, your boy blew up. I sat back and watched my channel become 48 times bigger in less than a month. All because of Tinder. All because this one girl showed me that I wasn't shit. That I still had some serious weaknesses that I had to address. So thanks, babe.
Yeah, I needed
for
to see this
receiving
video.
it. Because if it wasn't for what you did, the
Everything
person
happens for a
watching this
reason.
video right now probably would have never heard the name Young Don, the Sauce God. Moral of the story,
like this
in
guy.
this
I'm gonna
life you
subscribe.
will
Yeah.
occasionally be
Yeah,
handed
this
an
dude
L. And when
is
you
spitting,
do,
bro.
you will have two options. You can either A, blame someone else, blame the situation, blame everything but yourself. You can do that and feel better about yourself within the situation. Or B, you can look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what could I have done differently that would have made the situation go right instead of left?
Well, Kevin, how far along are you guys?
44.
44. Dude, I can't even. I wish I could spectate or something, dude. I feel
Yeah,
left
it's
out, bro. I feel left out.
I got him though. It's cool. I think the chances of me crashing are very unlikely right now, so we don't gotta worry about
All
that.
right, well, I mean, I can't do anything, so I'm not gonna.
It is what wait, what? Is there still one alive? Oh no. Like, what's the likelihood of Kobe being?
All right, well, regardless, once again,
We can end it here.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Regardless, once again, if you haven't already subscribed, we're trying to hit 1K. You know, we're doing a big giveaway at 1K, so make sure you tell your friends. We're gonna be going crazy with the content. That's all that needs to be said. Just subscribe, like the videos, comment on the videos, get us in the algorithm. Hey, I'm out.
Peace. Subscribe.